Friday Night Lights in the Lone Star State. The UNLV Rebels travel on the road for the first time this season, and the Sam Houston Bearcats home opener. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves on the call. Johnnie, last week was a close call for the Rebels, barely winning that one 38-31 over FCS opponent Idaho State, but nonetheless, they win their first game under Dan Mullen in the new era. A lot of things in the building. 23 of the 25 starters last week were first-time starters. The chemistry is still building. Reed Williams, the center for UNLV, said that. You know, what stood out to you in last week's game?
For me, resiliency. I think going into this game, a lot of the fans and a lot of the people that were looking at UNLV football thought that that game was going to be a cakewalk. No, Idaho State, by the way, with no tight end, as we mentioned on that broadcast, came in and they were spreading the ball around. But what did UNLV's defense do? They made plays when they was needed to make plays. And then also, when you look at the quarterbacks, both Anthony Calandria and Alex Orji both did a great job of staying composed and not letting the moment get to them. They both know that they are in a QB battle, yes. But I think as the season goes along, I think they have shown and gave enough confidence for Dan Mullen to say, hey, I do have two quarterbacks that I can run the system with, and he's going to be able to use the both of them to bring the best out of each other.
The mindset, the attitude, and the effort down 10-0 was one of the things that stood out to head coach Dan Mullen. And taking a look at both of these quarterbacks, he said he thought they both played fantastic, good reads, but then also good attitude to stay in the game, be leaders, and do what they do best, which is, playing off the run, being able to adapt and make plays. He said he's seen them play, the best ball that they've ever played from scrimmages, practices, and drills as well. So when you take a look at this quarterback battle, how is it shaking up so far?
I think so far, Roy, I think you explained it perfectly. Pressure makes diamonds. When you look at both of these quarterbacks, they both came on their A games. And on the flip side of that, they both played to their strengths. Alex Orji, what did he do? He was able to run in the end zone. First play kind of got away from him, got a fumble in the end zone, but later on when UNLV needed it most, he was able to get that touchdown in the red zone and run it in using his legs, which is his strength. What did Anthony Calandria do when his number was called? He was able to sling the ball around. If you look at his stats, the dude as a passer was 15 for 21, 195 yards, and threw a touchdown. But on the flip side of that, he had 13 rushes for 93 yards. He has shown that not only can he sling it with his arm, but he can use his legs when he needs it the most. And UNLV is going to need that today for this football game.
And the Rebels will take the field first. They lose the coin toss, and they will take the offense out onto the field.
Right there, we have a really good run right there from Jet Thomas to start this game. And if you're going back to last game for Sam Houston against the Western Kentucky Wildcats, they were not able to effectively stop the run. So in this game, Jet Thomas is going to be a key factor for UNLV's offense.
Calandria and the Rebels inside Bearcat territory at the 43. He throws far sideline, connects inside. And it's a touchdown. Calandria with a dot, 43 yards to Jaden Bradley to start off this game.
When you're able to start fast in a game like this, you're on the road, you're in Houston, you have to fly in, first road game of the season. This is exactly how UNLV football is trying to start this game. Right here we have a sluggo route, which is a slant and go. This is a double move. It completely catches Sam Houston's DBs on their back, and Jaden Bradley is able to start this game off with a big reception and touchdown for the Rebels.
Bradley with great separation, the senior getting absolutely open there on the far sideline. Kicking it for the Rebels for the PAT is Vieira. The PAT is through. The Rebels lead early here in Houston, 7-0. You're here listening to Rebel Sports Network. 5 plays, 63 yards, and under 3 minutes, the Rebels strike for 7 first on the road, Calandria to Bradley.
If you look at that drive, I think UNLV coming into this game knew they were going to feed the hot hand. Jaden Bradley coming off a 6-catch, 130-yard performance in his last game. He has shown that, hey, it might not be Troy Amire is going to be the #1 option in this offense. He has shown the versatility as that Z receiver, being able to play in both the slot on the outside. Right there, they perfectly were able to run that sluggo route, and Anthony Calandria put the ball exactly where it needed to be.
In the opening drive, Jaden Bradley has 3 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown last week. 6 catches, 131 yards, and a 47-yard long bomb in the last matchup. Now this one, it's the first one between Sam Houston and UNLV in program history, and the man of the hour for the Bearcats, Hunter Watson, 6'3", 210, senior from Salina, Texas. Speaking of Texas, there's 18 players for UNLV that's coming back to their home state, program high. Some of the notables, Marcel McDuffie holding down the defense, and then, of course, Alex Orji.
Yep, a lot of these guys are being able to go back into their home state, and I think a lot of them are playing with an extra chip on their shoulder. They know last game they kind of didn't play to the level in which they want to start for this program, especially for Dan Mullen, but now here in Texas, they're looking to put on a show.
Watson in shotgun formation motion there, handoff to Green up the middle and brought down at the 33-yard line.
There you go. If you look at UNLV's defense right there, the key of this game is going to be able to stop the QB option. Watson last game was able to get 91 yards with his legs and 1 touchdown and a big 55-yard run. If they want to be able to win this game, they have to read their keys and fill gaps in the run game.
This is going to be a very telling game, the home opener for the Bearcats as Green picks up the first down, a physical run there, brought down at the 37. New head coach Phil Longo as the first season head coach for the Bearcats. He was formerly the offensive coordinator back in 2014-2016. He's hoping to get their first win today.
Yeah, if you look at right there by Zach Patterson, he's able to get them to get the chains moving. Just a simple little inside zone.
Pressure and hit as he throws incomplete pass, almost intercepted there. The pressure by Chief Borders off the edge.
Great pressure again by Chief Borders. He's able to use his length, and right here he does a beautiful rip move to get to the quarterback. He's able to get him. It's a great incompletion for the UNLV defense.
And that's going to be something we didn't see last week that we're going to need to see this week for UNLV. And a quick timeout here from the referees blowing the whistle dead on a pre-snap. CUSA referee Rodney Burnett. The last play is under review here. So we're going to take a quick timeout. Stick with us here listening to Rebel Football on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves on the call. If you're now just joining us, the Rebels lead 7-0 over the Bearcats. They are on the road in Houston playing at Shell Energy Stadium. The previous play was under review. Pressure by Chief Borders knocks the ball out of quarterback Hunter Watson. They were seeing to check if it was a incomplete pass or if it was a fumble, and the ruling on the field upheld.
Yeah, that's a little bit of that Tom Brady action against the Raiders back in the day. But
all right, we don't need to bring up old history there. 2nd and 10, wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Number 9, Amarus Brown off the edge, getting the tackle for loss there.
This is a guy, again, picking up where he left off last week. Again, when you're playing in the nickel, you have to be able to run fit. What does he do right there? It looks like out of the nickel, UNLV's defense was able to pick up a blitz, and he was able to get that big stop in the backfield.
3rd and 11 at their own 37. Flags fly on both sides of the ball. Intended pass for number 7 on the near sideline, Quavez Humphreys. 2 penalties right when the ball was snapped. We're going to see what happened here.
Good catch on the sideline. Also good rally by Jaheim Joseph.
Offside penalty on the Rebels. The Bearcats will decline, and they'll pick up the first down from Humphreys here.
If you're looking at that right there, just getting a little bit too antsy right there by Donovan. You would like him to just stay on his keys, allow them to make that play, and not have UNLV give them the first down.
Donovan Manson called for the offsides, jumping a little too early there. 3rd and 6. They do accept the penalty. 10 minutes, 54 seconds remain. Manson is going to keep it. Watson, picks up the first down and slides right in front of the 40-yard line.
Right there, again, the biggest key to this game is Watson being able to use his legs as a quarterback when things don't go the way that they're supposed to go. Right here, UNLV would like to use a QB spy to be able to keep eyes on him and make sure that wherever he goes, he is rallied up.
Watson surveys the field, has to step outside the pocket, connects, and delivers to Smith Mack. He's hit out of bounds near midfield, picks up the first down.
Andrew Poundrel right there with the big hit, but you would like to see him as a DB. DBs have to tackle. That is one of the flaws that you're going to get when you look at a lot of these guys. He's able to sit down in that soft zone coverage, but he should have been able to use both of his arms to wrap up that tackle. Still first down for Sam Houston, or 2nd and 1.
Bearcats marching down the field inside Rebel territory at the Rebel 42. Handoff Green off the left side and brought down at the 39, tackled by McDuffie.
Sam Houston so far is doing a really good job of switching up the tempo. Right there, you had a pass play where they were able to scramble out, use a little bit of creation and get that completion. Right there, they go right back to the easy run game to pick up that first down.
1st and 10 for the Bearcats. 9:43 remaining in the first quarter. Rebels lead 7-0. Shotgun formation spread offense here. 17 on the play clock. Watson reading the defense pre-snap. Play action. Looking down the field. He's going to go long. Almost intercepted there. Pope Jr. in the vicinity.
Great defense again by this DB room. You see on the outside, Andrew Powder was able to stay in coverage. We do have a flag on the play. Sometimes you got to let these guys play. They're going to do a lot of hand fighting for the ball between the wide receiver and the cornerback, and it looks like the refs believes they got a little too handsy again for the second week.
That ball intended for Derek Bledsoe III, the redshirt sophomore, and they're going to call the penalty on UNLV for pass interference.
Yeah, right here, again, UNLV is getting a taste of their own medicine. Sam Houston, what did they go back to? They run another sluggo. A lot of those sluggo routes are kind of set up. Sometimes when you want to be able to get a little free play, you run those because a lot of these DBs are going to bite thinking it's a slant, and the moment you do, they go right back up, and you run into the guy. That's what happens right there for the Rebels.
So the Bearcats now have their first down at the Rebel 24. Pressure in his face, has to throw it away, and does so. Incomplete pass for their offensive stall there.
Great pressure right there by the linebackers for UNLV. They were able to contain Watson, keep him in the pocket. The name of the game this game is to keep him in the pocket and make sure that he is not able to get flushed out and make plays with his legs. Right there, UNLV's ends are both able to make it, and they do a great job of sending Andrew Powdrell from the cornerback position to come get after the quarterback.
Powdrell and Tumiche Adelea get the pressure there, the senior. 2nd and 10. Check down, outside, making some moves. Picks up the first down and more. Green inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Bearcats.
That's a great job by Watson right there, just taking the easy read. Sometimes you don't have to do too much. It looks like there was kind of design running back screen almost. You have the 2 wide receivers both in the slot and at the X position being able to play and block for him, and he's able to pick up a big chunk gain.
Green last week, 7 catches, 61 yards. An absolute threat in the passing game. 1st and goal from the 9. Green, no! It's Watson. He's in. Touchdown, Bearcats. And they tie it back up in their first opening drive.
That is a great answer right there by the Sam Houston State. And this is exactly what we were talking about at the beginning of this game. They were not afraid, and what did they do? They're able to use the quarterback read option, and Watson is perfectly able to pull that ball, had Chief Borders thinking he had a big tackle for a loss. Nope, I'm going to take it right behind you, and I'm going to be able to walk in for the easy touchdown.
Watson last week, 1 rushing touchdown, and answers that again on the opening drive awaiting the PAT is RJ Lopez, the graduate student from Nebraska. He puts that one through. Tie ball game here at Houston. You're listening to Rebel Football on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves. The Rebels defense give up their first touchdown of the day on the opening drive for the Bearcats. It's tied 7-7. Just under 8:42 to go here in the first quarter. The offense looked really good on their first outing. 63 yards for Jaden Bradley, and he got the touchdown go-ahead there in the opening drive.
That's a great job, again, by Hunter Watson being able to stay on schedule. Everything so far for this redshirt junior is trying to get the ball out quick, and when the pocket breaks down, he's been able to use his legs, extend plays, and UNLV is going to have to do something, and they're going to have to make adjustments on the defensive end. And defensive coordinator Paul Gunther, he's going to probably have to deploy some type of QB spy to make sure that they always keep eyes on him. He is going to be able to make plays out the backfield. He is going to be able to extend out the pocket and make plays when you need to. Have those off-platform throws. We'll see if UNLV's offense is able to capitalize and answer back with some points right here.
Coach Mullen mentioned earlier in the week at the press conference that they need to work on open field tackling, working on the speed, getting off the line of scrimmage faster, and then also getting ahead of the change for the offensive end, limiting those negative plays. We didn't see a lot of negative plays on the offensive drive, but in terms of the defense, making sure you're in the right position at the right time. All 11 guys have to do their job, and then you're going to be able to go out and make plays.
100%. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from the front seven. What I need more of is those DBs to come downhill, ready to chop some wood. They have to come down ready to hit these guys and come with the same energy that Sam Houston is looking for in this game.
Deep back for the Rebels is Jalen Glover and Jaden Thomas, and they're going to let this one bounce in the back of the end zone here. So their drive is going to start at the 25-yard line, and a lot of excitement for the Rebels as they have their first win of the season and looking to go 2-0, headed into Allegiant Stadium week 3 for the biggest game of the year against the UCLA Bruins.
Yes, this is going to be – these first two games are going to be perfect tune-up games for UCLA. UCLA is going to come in. They're a Power 5 team. They're trying to make a statement. It's going to be Nico's first game, and they're going to be looking to make plays. UNLV has to be ready for that game.
Calandria rolls out, connects, picks up the first down, and who? Gums on the reception there on the outside.
Right there, I'm loving, again, the call by Corey Dennis. And still, you see a lot of the things that they're trying to do with this offense, hurry up. But they know Calandria is great with his legs, and he's great moving out the pocket. What do? First play of the drive, they go out with a bootleg, and he's able to find the guy on the over route.
Varquise Gums, the senior transfer from Arkansas. Now 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line. 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Handoff up the middle is Jet Thomas, brought down around the 50-yard line, extending for extra yards.
That's a great move right there. That's called a jump cut by Jet Thomas. He's able to take one step and burst right through that hole, and sometimes that's all you can do. But right there, he's able to do that, and he's able to almost keep his balance. If he goes, he might be in the end zone for another 70-yard touchdown, Wyatt.
3 touchdowns last week for Thomas on 10 carries for 147 yards. A monster week last week. Looking to see some similar success here in Houston. Calandria so far has been successful, 6 for 6. And the handoff workaround to Irving, trying to get outside and brought down at the Bearcat 49.
That's a great play call right there. Sometimes when you see those jet sweeps, it's usually always in coming forward. Right there, they put Irvin in the orbit motion. That's when the slot receiver is able to come behind the quarterback almost in a pistol formation and allow there to be some type of read option look, get the defense guessing. Right there, he's able to get 2 yards. Now it's setting up the UNLV offense for 3rd and 1.
Under 7 minutes to go in Houston, tied ball game at 7. The Rebels a crucial 3rd and 1 here. They've converted 1 of 1 so far. Near midfield, under center, Calandria. Thomas in the backfield, cuts upfield, fighting for those extra yards. And thrown down on the ground. We're going to have to wait to see where the referees mark him.
Right there, great physicality by Jet Thomas, trying to make the most of what he could right there. But also, great contain by the Bearcats right there on that play. They were able to meet Thomas in the hole, and by C.J. Brown, he came up, came downhill, and was ready to hit. That's exactly what you want from that safety position.
The senior from NIU, C.J. Brown with the play, and it's 4th and 2 for the Rebels. Orgy comes out onto the field, so you know what that means. Looking like a physical run here.
Right here, I like to see UNLV switch it up. Obviously, we know they have the QB power game, but Orgy has an arm.
Orgy by himself in the backfield takes it, and it's going to pick up the first down. Great play there.
Right there, it's almost like Philadelphia, what they do with Jalen Hurts. Sometimes you just get the big guy, you get your O-lineman, and you punch it right through. That's exactly what UNLV is able to do right there. First instance we've seen Orgy so far in these 2 drives for UNLV's offense. Let's see if he stays on the field.
Orgy last week, 6 carries, 34 yards, and got in the end zone, carrying it himself on a 4th down play, converting last week, and he does it here again in Houston.
I love that Orgy, again, is knowing who he is as a quarterback and is playing to his strengths. He is not trying to play outside of himself. Let's see if he can continue to keep up this good drive for the UNLV Rebels.
The Rebels 1st and 10 at the Bearcat 44. Handoff to Lee up the middle, breaks a couple tackles, and is finally brought down by Brown near the 36.
That's a great run right there by Kevon Lee. Again, getting to the 2nd level. Sometimes you need to use your jump cuts. As a running back, use that contact balance. These guys are built almost just short, stocky. These guys need to use their balance to be able to get all they can. What a great run right there to gain 8 yards on that play.
2nd and 2 for the Rebels. Calandria comes back in. We knew that they'd be doing a mix of quarterback play here. Under center, 4:42 remaining in the first quarter. Play action, looking deep, surveys the field, has to bounce out left, rolling, fires down the near sideline, and tipped and knocked out of bounds by Sam Houston.
There you go again. Anthony Calandria coming from Virginia, yes, he did have those 13 touchdowns, but he also had 13 interceptions. This guy is not afraid to throw the football. Sometimes he's going to put the football in advantageous situations for the defense. In this situation, he kind of did that, but UNLV does have 3rd and 2. We've seen them go for it already on this down. You know that you still have another down in your back pocket. I like Calandria looking downfield, still trying to be aggressive as a quarterback for this offense.
Alonzo Edwards Jr. is the player that knocked that ball down. Calandria fakes, hands off to Lee on 3rd and 2. He's brought down around the 33. Let's see where the referees mark it. And it looks good enough for a first down.
That's a great jump cut right there by Kevon Lee. Knowing that, hey, my A gap, my B gap, and my C gap is all filled. What am I going to do? I'm going to bounce to the outside and get the necessary yards for my team. Right there, he showed good patience like a dude that the Chargers actually just drafted in Marion Hampton. They have a little bit of a similar background, a little bit of a similar frame. I like to see the 6', 225 senior transfer come in and make a big play right there for UNLV.
1st and 10 for the Rebels at the Bearcat 34. Throws it to the flat. Gums breaks the tackle. Breaks a second one and is still moving. What a play there by Gums.
Right there, you have Gums showing his elusiveness as a big guy. Varkey's Gums is one of the biggest transfers for this football team. He's going to be an asset and a guy that sometimes as a tight end, you just need to be a quick read. You need to be that security blanket for the quarterback. What does he do? He's able to show he has a little bit of yak ability. He's able to shrug some guys off and use that big frame, use that strength, show his playmaking ability, and UNLV is set up for a 2nd and 1.
Gums already with 2 receptions on the day, had 1 last week for 16 yards. One of the top transfer portal tight ends, ranked 15th among the nation. 2nd and 1 here. Shotgun formation, handoff to Thomas. It's Lee. Picks up a huge gain, going deeper into Bearcat territory.
Beautiful call right there by Corey Dennis, using pre-snap motion to put Marquise Gums in motion, and then you have that guard pulling right behind the center, being able to use that crack block almost like a halfback counter. And Kevon Lee, what have we seen so far from him this game is downhill hard running and jump cutting when you need to jump cut. This guy has so far had a great drive for this UNLV offense and is almost like a great change of pace, almost like what we see with the Detroit Lions with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. You have that with Jet Thomas with that speed. Right there, Kevon Lee is showing his power.
1st and goal at the 6. Handoff right around the 5. Lee is brought down and met by a committee of Bearcats.
Right there, you see that defensive line, those nose tackles right there for the Bearcat defense are kind of sick and tired of getting pushed around right there. They're able to fill those gaps and get right down to Kevon Lee.
And Lee coming off the field here. So is Calandria. Orgy on the field. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Rebels tied up 7 apiece. 2nd and goal.
I'd like to see UNLV's offense to show, hey, Alex Orgy, I can throw this football. Obviously, the defense is expecting run, but let's see what they do.
Orgy going to keep it. Breaks a tackle and is brought down behind the line of scrimmage by number 17, Christopher Eaton Jr., the junior from San Diego Mesa College.
That's a great job right there by Eaton. He's able to read his keys. Sometimes when you're a football player, you have to be able to use your IQ. You know that if Anthony Calandria is not in the game, what does that mean? And Alex Orgy is, it might be a QB power. It might be a QB sweep. It might be a QB draw. He's able to stay on his keys and get right to the quarterback. They have Calandria now in the game.
3rd and goal for the Rebels. Calandria back in. 3rd and goal from the 6.5-yard line. Less than a minute to go here. And Bearcats jump off sides and a penalty there.
Flag on the play. That would have been a big play right there for the Bearcats to be able to get off the field right here. Now UNLV is set up with way better field position. 3rd and goal. Still split out wide with those receivers. It looks to be man-to-man coverage across the board for the Bearcats. Let's see if they can get something out the slot.
Trips left, shotgun formation. Glover in the backfield with Calandria. He scans left in the corner of the end zone. Urban, he's in. Touchdown, Rebels.
Beautiful slot corner fade route right there. He's able to put the ball right on the money. Calandria is able to sit that ball right in, float it exactly where it needs to be. On a play like that, when they are going man-to-man and UNLV has the weapons that they have, D'Angelo Irvin at that slot position, the first guy in that slot position, he's able to use that tempo, stick outside, and beautifully run that corner fade route to a T. And again, they're in college. They don't need 2 feet. They only need 1. He's able to high point the ball, get 1 foot down, touchdown for the Rebels.
One of the few returners on this lineup gets his hands on the ball and scores. Speedy, versatile, a Swiss Army knife. The Rebels lead 14-7 here on the road. You're listening to Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back to Rebel Sports Network. You're listening to UNLV football. The Rebels go 13 plays, 75 yards, 8 minutes and 10 seconds, and put 7 on the board. Connection to D'Angelo Irving Jr. What a drive there.
That was a great drive by UNLV. And again, good job by Alex Orji not being cold. Obviously, going into this game, that was the first time we've seen him come on the field for a drive so far for this UNLV offense, but he made timely plays when they mattered most. On that 4th and 2, what is he able to do? Go right up the gut, be able to get the first down. But I also love Anthony Calandria understanding that he has a role in this offense. What does he do when it matters the most? Again, he throws a perfect corner route to D'Angelo Irvin. They're able to get on the board, and this kind of way they're using both of these quarterbacks in this system, you keeping all of these guys engaged. The team is seeing, hey, not only is the quarterbacks both being able to make plays, but me as a skill guy, and in this case, D'Angelo Irvin, I know that, hey, we might have Troy O'Meara, we might have Jaden Bradley, but I'm still going to be able to make plays. Same thing goes for Varkey's Gums. When you're able to get everybody involved in this offense, that makes your blocking better. That makes the O-lines blocking better. That makes all the position groups be able to move in cohesiveness, and that's exactly what UNLV is going to need for this game and heading into next week for UCLA.
Seeing the adaptability on the offensive end has been apparent here already. 13 plays is a long drive for that Bearcat defense to stay out there and try to bend but not break. But this Rebel offense is really hard to stop, so versatile, having a lot of different players. And Coach Mullen talked earlier in the week about adapt to the game situation. As much as you try to script plays and try to prepare for all kinds of different scenarios, at the end of the day, you have to be able to adapt and make adjustments.
Exactly. A lot of this football game is going to be based off of versatility and making adjustments. Let's see what type of adjustments Sam Houston is going to be able to make on their next defensive possession.
Deep back for the Bearcats. It's number 11, Malik Phillips, and he's going to let that one sail back into the back of the end zone there. And the offense is going to take over at their own 25-yard line.
And obviously we know that with the departure of our coaches from last year and the system that we run, that go-go offense, UNLV and Dan Mullen are still trying to show, hey, we are not going to go away from that. We are going to play to our strengths. And what has Anthony Calandria been doing so far? He's been able to pass the football efficiently. So far, 98 yards passing, 42 yards running. A great job last drive by Kevon Lee. Let's keep it up.
32 seconds remain in the first quarter. Watson in the backfield, shotgun formation, fires across the middle, hands, tips and overthrows, incomplete pass, and intended for Smith Mack.
Right there, you get a little bit of that play action pass, and it was a little bit late right there by Hernan Watson. Looked like he thought about it just a little bit too much. Airmailed it a little bit. You would like to see Jake Pope be able to get close to the ball. If you see ball, you got to get ball. Great open field tackle right there. Beautiful open field tackle by Blessing right there.
Alualu Olemodu tackles Brown behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2.
That is a fantastic job right there from him at the linebacker position, being able to spread the field and get out an open field and make a tackle. That is exactly what Dan Mullen wanted. He is playing right to that.
And with that play, that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Wyatt Touchet, Johnnie Graves. Quick update here on Rebel Sports Net. The women's volleyball team are currently playing at the Cox Pavilion at home. They are bringing in Iowa. They are down one set but lead in the second 4-3. Now back to the football action. The Rebels, they're looking really good. Rebel football, they're up 14-7 at the beginning of the second quarter. Jaden Bradley with that amazing first drive, 3 catches, 63 yards, and tops it off with the first touchdown of the game. What are you seeing so far from this offense?
So far from this UNLV offense, I think Corey Dennis has done an amazing job of keeping everybody involved in this game. Right there on that last possession, Anthony Calandria was able to connect with D'Angelo Irvin Jr. in that slot corner fade. And when you're able to do that, when you're able to get multiple guys on the football field like Orji, like Calandria, and this weapons group, you're able to keep everybody engaged and everybody together as a football team. So far, UNLV has done a great job of scoring the ball. That's exactly what you need to do to win a football game. Now, they just have to keep it up. So far, what I'm looking for is for this defense to read their keys and get off the field on third down.
This defense, Marcel McDuffie said earlier in the week that they need to set the tone early. Physicality, let them know we are here with the tackling, and we are all here. It's going to take all 11. It's 3rd and 12 here for the Bearcats at their own 23-yard line. Watson, shotgun formation, fires down the middle, hit as he lays it, tries to put it forward, and it's Pope that lays the hit intended for number 11 there.
That's a great job right
Malik
there by
Phillips.
Jake Pope, being able to read his keys and stay at the back end at the safety position. Right there, UNLV was playing a good bit of off coverage. They're playing situational football. It's 3rd and 12. We're not going to play man-to-man. You guys got to get 12 yards. What do? Everybody's covered. Watson was able to try to hit his guy over the middle. Jake Pope, as a strong safety, able to get back there and make a big hit right there for 4th down.
The chemistry is still building with this program, but this squad is looking good here early. Punting it is Curtis Durand, and back to receive the punt is D'Angelo Irvin. He's going to fair catch it at their own 30-yard line, and the Rebels offense is going to take over. They have a lead of 7 with 14:49 remaining in the second quarter.
I'd like to see UNLV's offense again staying on top of this game. You know you have the lead. You're in enemy territory. What do we need to do right now? We need to continue to get great body blows. How do you do that? You go back to the running game. If you see, they did a great job last possession with Kevon Lee being able to be that change of pace back. Let's see if Jet Thomas is able to dip and dabble with the running game as well. And also, they have Jalen Glover. It looks like Jalen Glover is going to be the option at the backfield to start this drive.
140 yards for the offense in the first quarter, picking up 7 first downs, 42 yards on the ground, and 98 through the air. 2 touchdowns for this offense so far. 1st and 10 at their own 30. Handoff Glover off the right side, trucking forward, and gets a gain of about 4.
That's a great job right there by Glover showing, hey, I may be the little guy, I might be the 3rd guy on the depth chart, but I am in this football game to hit somebody. As a running back, you want to be able to set the tone. He's exactly able to do that right there on that play, picking up a great 5 yards. Picking up those 5 yards on 1st down or 1st and 2nd down, they're able to start the offense and give you life to breathe. That also opens up the amount of plays that Corey Dennis is able to call for this offense.
Glover, the junior transfer from Utah, 7 carries and 28 yards last week against Idaho State. Quick throw, connects to Bradley near the 40-yard line from Calandria.
That's a great read right there by Anthony Calandria, recognizing Sam Houston State was going to blitz. They're going to bring pressure. What do I need to do? I need to go right to my quick read. They're able to pick up that beautiful curl route right there to Jaden Bradley.
The throw towards the outside, a quick offensive snap there on 2nd down, picks up and moves the change for about 6. 1st and 10, shotgun formation, handoff Glover and trips left and falls down for a gain of 3.
Love what UNLV and Corey Dennis are doing with this offense, keeping guys fresh. They understand that this is early on in the season, and we need to keep guys engaged. So what do? These last 3 plays, they've kept Jalen Glover on the field. Now we have Jet Thomas being able to come in. He's fresh. He's energized. He's ready to make plays. 2nd and 8 for this UNLV offense.
Glover, his Utah career stats, almost 1,000 yards on the ground in 25 games and tack on 6 touchdowns. He can be a useful asset to this deep running back room. Calandria under center, 2nd and 8, fires across the middle, wide open is Earl, makes a move inside Bearcat territory, and finally brought down inside the 25.
That is a beautiful play action call right there by Corey Dennis. And what does he do? He gets the Texas guy, the guy that is originally from Frisco, Texas, JoJo Earl, a guy that we were looking for and I was looking for to make big plays last game. What does he do? He gets them on the over out in the slot. He's able to use his speed, use his elusiveness to pick up big yards for UNLV in this offense.
The transfer from TCU did not have a proper outing last week, but there we see his potential here for this offense. They're moving the chains good here. Calandria, 10 of 11, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns already. 12 minutes and 15 seconds in the second quarter remaining. Handoff, Jet Thomas making some men miss and using his body to barrel forward inside the 5. And there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Right there, regardless of what may happen on this flag, you use beautiful chains of pace right there by the UNLV offense. They're able to get Jet Thomas the easy halfback draw and able to give him a lot of space to be able to make plays. And what does he do? He shows his quick twitch ability. He's able to break tackles, get almost in the end zone. It looks like he might have been short at the 1-yard line. But again, when you're able to give the ball to multiple different pieces on this offense, you're keeping guys fresh. That way, when they are in the game, they're not tired. They're ready to get the ball and be explosive.
One of the good things here are the physical receivers trying to block, but the double-edged sword, Earl gets caught for holding there.
Exactly.
Would have been a huge carry, but it's brought back 10 yards.
Sometimes as a receiver, you get caught up. Again, these dudes on the outside, they get handsy. They want to get physical. They don't want to show that they're just divas. But sometimes you get a little bit too handsy. 1st and 8 right now for the UNLV Rebels.
We got to get you another phrase than just handsy. Calandria, one-on-one down the sideline. What a throw and catch. Inside the 5, connects with Day-Day Reynolds, and a flag on the play.
This one might be called back. We do get a little bit of a push off. That's why there was so much separation, but beautiful concentration right there by Reynolds.
And that penalty will be on UNLV. Pass interference, like you said, partner. A little too much contact initiation from the offensive player.
It's a little similar to a play we saw this last Super Bowl with A.J. Brown and Trent McDuffie. Kind of when you're getting that guy on the fade route, you want to be able to get more separation than you probably would have had to get on that play like that. Right there, you're just trying to separate. That's exactly what Reynolds does. He pushes off just a little bit, almost like he's playing basketball. Sometimes you get that Michael Jordan snatch just a little bit. Right there, referee's able to catch that, and now it's going to be another penalty to back up this UNLV football team.
Coach Mullen talked about limiting the negative plays. 4 penalties are costing them 45 yards. A lot of that coming on this drive here. Rebels lead 7, 14-7 here. 11:43 remaining in the half. 1st and 23. Calandria is going to keep it, use his legs, bounces outside, and picks up a gain of about 4 or 5 there.
Good job right there by Calandria, not doing hero ball. When it's 1st and 23, you did get backed up. You want to be able to, make as many plays as you can happen. Sometimes you got to take what the defense gives you and know that you are an asset to this football team. I'm loving the rhythm that he's been able to play so far within this football game. So far, he is, 10 for 11, 11 for 12. He's still been able to make a ton of plays and keep this offense on script. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far from Calandria.
2nd and 18 for the Rebels inside Bearcat territory at the 33. Shotgun formation, trips left. Calandria fires and connects with Earl. He picks up the 1st down and a little bit more inside the 10.
Another great job and example right there by Anthony Calandria, showing his dual threat ability. Sometimes at the next level, you're going to need to use your legs to extend plays. What does he do? He sees that the pocket is flush and they are using a QB contain to move him out the pocket. What does he do? He uses his legs, but he doesn't leave the line of scrimmage. He's able to still be friendly for his receivers, and that's exactly what JoJo Earl does. He stays within the zone, sits down exactly where he needs to be, and puts UNLV's football team right back in the red zone.
And Cecile Powell is the injured Bearcat on the field. He was able to walk off, but limping. Great play there by Calandria on 2nd and 18 to utilize his legs, be patient, and deliver a good pass and let his players make plays. And Earl picked up a huge play there.
Exactly.
1st and goal for the Rebels. They lead 14-7. They're at the Bearcat 9, 10:41. Play action, low ball there, intended for Earl on the far side. Cannot connect.
Great job right there by Christopher Eaton Jr. using pressure to make sure that Calandria will rush the ball out. That was one of the only times tonight that we've kind of seen Calandria get rushed, throw a pass that he probably wish he would have got back. UNLV's offense right there was trying to use a little bit of that wide receiver screen game, almost like an extension of the run game. You kind of like those plays because not only are you able to get those wide receivers involved, but you're also able to keep the defense guessing. They don't know if you're going to run an RPO to the running back, and he's going to keep it. They don't know if Calandria, who has shown he can be explosive and extend plays with his legs, is going to keep it on a QB draw, QB run. But you also have those receivers on the outside still, like I said, being able to stay involved.
And with 3 seconds on the play clock, the Rebels have to take a timeout. Bad management there by Calandria. We're going to step aside really quick. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels lead 14-7, and an opportunity here to knock on the door and get in.
Right now, you would like to see the UNLV Rebels again. Don't hurt yourself. Sometimes in these football games, they're going to make positions, and you're going to put yourself in positions to make plays, but you're also going to put yourself in positions to not make plays. Right now, they need to understand that, hey, if the play is not there, sometimes I need to throw it away. I would like to see Calandria be able to get points for this offense, not make negative plays.
Last week against Idaho State, the Rebels 7 trips inside the red zone and split it about even. 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. That's a pretty good percentage, but you want to see more touchdowns and more opportunities to get them inside the end zone there.
Exactly. Being in that red zone is precious. It's a precious opportunity. You're able to, you're able to have an intimate moment with the touchdown. Like we're here as an offense to score touchdowns. We don't want to rely on our kicker to be able to be the guy that carries us to these wins. I'd like to see if they put Alex Orji in because of how close they are in the down and distance. Let's see if they are able to switch it up. I remember first game they had both QBs on the field. Let's see what they go to here at 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal. Jet motions to the near side alone at the 9. Quick pump fakes, screen intended for Thomas and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. What a play there by Iman Allen, the redshirt senior. He's fired up.
That is a great play right there. Being able to stop that screen. You have all those linemen and tight ends going out there. What does he do? He slips right past that O-lineman and is able to make a great form tackle at the defensive back position.
That brings us to 3rd and goal for the Rebels here. 10 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 15 on the play clock. Their control time so far has been 14 minutes and counting. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 11. Calandria shotgun trips left, similar to what we saw last drive. He's going to use his legs, the right sideline. That's an incomplete pass. Looked like an illegal forward pass as well, but they're not going to throw a penalty. And it's going to be fourth and goal.
Right there, you'd like to see Calandria just be a little bit more secure with the football. You do not want to give the football away when you are in territory like this and you have the opportunity to make plays. I understand trying to make the play, but sometimes you just need to live to fight another day, take the 3, and keep the offense chugging and keep points on the board. Right there, UNLV is able to get a good break right there.
Ramon Viella, 1 of 3 last week. He made a 26-yarder. Let's see if he can make this 29-yard attempt here. Snap, hold, kick is up, left, and the refs say it goes through. The Rebels lead 17-7, 9:41 remaining in the half. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels 12 plays, 70 yards, goes down, stalls at the very end, but gets 3 points from the leg of Viella. And they lead 17-7 over the Bearcats. This offense is looking good. Obviously, some things tweaked and figured out over this last week or so on a short week. In the beginning on Sunday, specifically Sunday night, they immediately got back on that practice field and started practicing. They saw a lot more focus, a lot more intensity and urgency from this entire squad as a whole.
Sometime when it's week 0, you're going to have a lot of anxiety going into that football game. There's going to be a lot of mistakes and a lot of kinks that you're going to have to wrinkle out. And in a game that UNLV had to fight tooth and claw to get that W, they were able to show a lot of composure. Now going into this week 1 game, basically, you're able to see that football team coming with a lot more composure. Let's see if this defense is going to be able to make a stop to try to give the football back to the offense and extend this lead.
And about a 27-yard return there by Malik Phillips. So we take a look at a replay. Coach Mullen is not happy with that previous offensive drive. He knows they should have gotten in on that last one.
Right there. The biggest thing for Coach Mullen is you want to be able to execute. As an offense, anytime that you leave points not on the board, that is something that you don't want. Looks like we have a sub here at the quarterback position.
Mabry Mito, or the redshirt freshman from Wisconsin, is taking the field here. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats at their own 28. Handoff there and a pickup of about 7 by Greer.
That's a great play call right there by Zach Patterson, the offensive coordinator for the Bearcats, knowing that, hey, they do have a different quarterback in the game. What am I going to do? I'm going to give it to my running back. I'm going to allow him to allow the quarterback to feel the ball, understand you're in the football game, you're here. Let's see what he can do today.
Interesting call there by head coach Phil Longo of the Bearcats. And a loss of down there. Huge play by the defense. Tackled by number 94, Lucas Conti, for a tackle for loss.
That's a great job right there by Lucas Conti, being able to use the swim move to get in that backfield and stop that run. Now, I would like to see UNLV's defense, especially the back end, try to stay on top. Know that it is 3rd and 3. Read your keys. Play tight to the ball.
3rd and 3. Flags fly. Free play here. And another penalty. One of the things Coach Mullen talked about at the press conference is we make one mistake, but we let that add on for multiple plays. A mistake there by the defensive line, offsides, and then Denver Harris goes out and commits pass interference.
Right there, you like to see Justin Flo just have a little bit more composure. You know he's a linebacker. He wants to hit somebody. He knows it's a big down, but in that position, you do not need to be antsy. You need to allow your defensive backs to make a play. He doesn't do that. Then he puts his cornerback in a position to where he has to take a defensive pass interference to stop a big play from happening.
Offsides on the Rebels. The Bearcats decline that. And the pass interference call on Denver Harris, the senior from UTSA, transferred this year to join this program. He's called for the pass interference here.
Right there. It is a smart, good heads-up play right there by Denver Harris, understanding that, hey, in football sometimes you need to mitigate big plays. Big plays, what do? They're able to spark excitement and spark energy for the offense. Right there, sometimes you do have to take a penalty to take one for the team and let to fight another day.
1st and 10 for the Bearcats at their own 47. Green in the backfield, play action. Metoyer brought down by the line. Huge play there. And it's Jalen Lee who gets him down.
Great job by Blessing being able to filter as a linebacker and get after the ball. That was great job, again, by Lucas Conti, being able to flush the pocket, forcing Metoyer to be able to step up in the pocket. And what do? They rally to the football.
Associate head coach and interim defensive coordinator, the former DC for the Raiders, Paul Gunther, is taking the helm of this defense. And good play there. A loss of 4. 2nd and 14 for the Bearcats at their own 43. 8 minutes to go in the half. Rebels lead 17-7. 6 on the play clock. Gets the snap. Metoyer towards the 48-yard line. Connects and brought down by a number of Rebels. That catch there by number 1, Avion Smith-Mack. And there's a penalty flag on the play.
Good rally right there by that UNLV defense, especially the defensive back room. You like to see on the opposite side, Andrew Powdrell was down at the bottom by himself, playing a little bit of press bail technique. That's where you go up as a cornerback and you look like you're going to put hands on, look like you're going to, initiate contact. What does he do? He immediately bails. It almost looks like they were playing some type of cover 3 press, and UNLV's defense is able to catch a break. It's pass interference on the offensive side for Sam Houston State.
Rayfield Lawton, the tight end for the Bearcats, is caught there. The redshirt senior made illegal contact, and it brings the Bearcats back 15 yards. So an original 2nd and 14 is now 2nd and 29. A huge loss of yardage there for this offense.
Right now for this UNLV defense, you need to capitalize on this down and distance. You could be a little bit aggressive, but it is 29 yards. Understand down and distance right now.
Metoyer surveys, hits, and it's Green, unable to catch, hit by Justin Flo, and he's feeling the energy now.
Justin Flo with a little bit of his own rock'em, sock'em, little robot action. He's able to sit as the linebacker, understand that, hey, I'm going to make a big hit, but a legal hit. A lot of those linebacker guys, they try to make a little bit too much of a hit. Right there, he doesn't get called for targeting. He's still able to show some punishment and still able to put down a big hit, but now you give that defense the ability to play on 3rd and 29 to get off the football field.
3rd and forever here for the Bearcats. They're backed up all the way in Frisco. Has to get loose. Metoyer past the line of scrimmage, intercepted going the other way. It's Amarus Brown down the far sideline, and he's diving. Touchdown, Rebels!
great play again by Amarus Brown in that nickel back position. That was eerily similar to the play that Patrick Mahomes threw to Cooper DeJean, the rookie, last year in the Super Bowl. When you're playing in those cloud coverage in the nickel position, and it is a big play like that, it is 3rd and 29, and you know that you have to make a play, and you see the ball and the quarterback is trying to escape out the pocket, that is not what you want. Right there, he capitalizes, he sees ball, he catches the ball, sometimes as a DB. You have suspect hands, not this guy. He attacks the ball, high points it, and is able to return the ball for a touchdown.
Matoyer's offensive line broke down. He threw the ball past the line of scrimmage to Brown, who last week had an interception and could have had 2 for a pick 6, and finally gets his opportunity to get in the end zone here.
Right there, again, he's able to sit in coverage and read the eyes of the quarterback. As a DB, that's one of the best things that you have. DB is the hardest position, I believe, on the football field because you are playing backwards. Right there, he's able to see where the quarterback's eyes are, read his eyes, and make a play on the football.
Coach Lingo tried to make something happen with the quarterback change, but the Rebels defense stand up and stood out. 24-7 here in the second quarter. The Rebels lead. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels are on fire here in Texas. They lead 24-7. If you're now just joining us, Amarus Brown pick 6. This defense is looking really good now. This offense has been dominating, but the defense is now finally showing up and making some big plays.
This is what you want to see from the UNLV football team. This is exactly what you see in complementary football. Right there, Amarus Brown is able to make a big play, reading his keys, sitting in his zone coverage, reading the quarterback's eyes, and being able to not only get the interception, but get the return yards and the pick 6 to match. Right now, UNLV has a ton of momentum in Houston, Texas. Let's see if they can continue to ride on it.
A nightmare game right now for the Bearcats in the first half. And a huge tackle there for the Rebels by Logan Christensen. He loved laying it down there.
That was a great job right there, being able to rally to the football. When you're on the kick return unit, you need to be able to contain the kick returners. You need to be able to stop them and mitigate big plays, which is exactly what Sam Houston State is looking to do in this football game. Right now, UNLV has sucked the life out of this stadium. They have come into Houston and shown that they were ready to play football. A lot of the different mistakes that they made in week 0 against Idaho State have kind of been swept under the rug. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going against Hunter Watson now.
Hunter Watson back onto the field for the Bearcats. The previous drive Matoyer came out. Now it's back to the starting lineup. And a good run there, trying to pick up some yards for the Bearcats, number 34, Landon Brown.
That was a good job right there by Trey Fulton, meeting him at the bottom. You would like to see him wrap up, be able to get his arms around and make a good short tackle, but he was still able to get the stop right there, and now it is 2nd and 7 right now, 2nd and 8 for the Bearcats.
6:43 to go in the first half. Rebels lead 24-7. 2nd and 8 from their own 26-yard line. Pressure off the outside. Fires and connects with Smith Mack. Tackled by a number of Rebels and officially put down by Denver Harris.
That's a good job right there by Hunter Watson, being able to stay composed and get a great completion to his receiver Smith Mack right there. Sometimes when you are taken out of the game, it kind of can mess with your confidence a little bit. What does he do? He comes out first play or second play so far on this drive, and he's able to deliver a great strike for a first down for Sam Houston.
Rebels have 306 total yards of offense. Meanwhile, the Bearcats only 112 and counting. Handoff up the middle and fighting for some more yards. Brown again for a gain of about 8 and 9.
Right there, you have Landon Thomas at that defensive end spot. He's able to get in the backfield. He makes the perfect almost play. Right there, you would like to see him be able to wrap up, get a tackle for loss instead of a 9-yard pickup.
Now 2nd and 1 at their own 43-yard lines. Rebels on the defensive line almost jump, but do not quite. Less than 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Rebels lead 24-7. Motion Smith Mack, and it's going to be a toss to him towards the outside. Picks up the first down and falls at the 49 near midfield.
That was a great play call right there. Being able to just understand down and distance, get it to your playmaker, and allow him to make plays. They used the wide receiver jet sweep to get the easy yards that they needed, and a great block right there. One of those dudes had to sacrifice their body right there on that play for to Blessing, but they were still able to pick up that first down. That's the name of the game. Keep the chains moving right now for the Bearcats.
And a substitution for the offensive line here for the Bearcats, so a stoppage of play. The clock still is ticking down, 4:45 and 10 on the play clock for the Bearcats. Coach Lingo is pointing to himself. That's my fault. 1st and 10 at the 48. Motion left is Smith Mack. Hand off to Brown off the right side. And not going anywhere. Marcel McDuffie sniffing that play out.
That's a great job right there by Marcel McDuffie, reading his keys and meeting Brown in the backfield. And the biggest problem that UNLV has had so far on this drive is making sure tackles. What does he do? He wraps up, he gets that guy to the ground, and he allows his teammates to rally to the football to make that tackle.
The senior from Texas in his home state had said Monday that he has a lot of family, aunties, cousins, everybody is here to visit, so you know he has that home crowd with him. The connection there, and inside Rebel territory, picks up the first down for the Bearcats. Number 84, Landon Dion.
It's a good job right there by Lyndon Dion, being able to sit in the zone coverage, understand that, hey, if it is zone, I'm not in man-to-man. I might need to switch up my choice route. What does he do? He sits perfectly in the zone. Hunter Watson hits him. Good tackle right there again by Marcel McDuffie.
1st and 10 for the Bearcats. 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Watson fires outside towards the far side, connects, and delivers to Bledsoe. He picks up a gain about 8.
Derek Bledsoe right there. Good job using and getting all the way to the top of his stem on that curl route right there. As a wide receiver, you want to be able to get all the way. You want to have no indicators when you are running your route. You make everything look like a fade until it's not. He snaps down, picks up a good 8-yard gain right there for the Bearcats.
2nd and 2, less than 3 minutes to go. The Rebels lead 24-7. And because the offense substituted, that gives an opportunity for the defense to match it. 10 seconds on the play clock here, 2:44 remaining. This Bearcat offense is marching down the field. Watson, pressure in his face, rolls out right. Fulton in his face. He's going to use his legs and picks up the first down, stepping out of bounds, moving the chains.
That's a good job right there by Hunter Watson, using his athleticism to get outside the pocket and beat Trey Fulton. Trey Fulton, you would like to see him be able to force him back inside, but Watson was able to make a great play with his legs right there to keep the drive moving for the Sam Houston Bearcats.
First and 10 for the Bearcats inside UNLV territory. Second opportunity here for the Bearcats to put up 6. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remains in the first half. Watson has to roll out left, spinning, going to use his legs, gets the first down and a little bit more inside the 15, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout here in Houston. When we return, the Rebels lead 24-7. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to Rebel Sports Net. You're listening to UNLV football. Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves on the call. Before we go back to the football field, a little update for UNLV volleyball. They are down 2 sets and currently in the third set down 6-5 to the Iowa. I forgot.
Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes, thank you. My goodness.
Not the Cornhuskers. That's
Not
Nebraska.
the Cornhuskers. Thank you very much to the Hawkeyes. I almost said IHawks. But anyway, I digress. The Rebels lead on the football field 24-7. Their backs are starting to come against the wall here.
Well, right there, that was a great job by the UNLV defense being able to use man-to-man on that pressure. And they had Hunter Watson in the pocket, but again, he's able to use his legs to extend the play.
First and 10 for the Bearcats. Rolls out left. Throws it away. Excuse me, sorry.
Great man-to-man defense right there in the slot. They tried to get another slot fade right there to get a shot to the end zone, but it's 2nd and 10 for UNLV Rebels.
Second and 10 for the Bearcats. Jumping off sides. Throws to the near sideline. Incomplete pass, but the Bearcats are going to get the penalty flag here.
Again, when you have those free plays, it's almost like in the NFL where Aaron Rodgers, what he used to do with the Packers. When you have those free plays, give your wide receiver a shot. Right there, we have, some more man-to-man defense. And Quandarius Keys right there trying to be just a little bit too physical. Let's see what the referees say.
Awaiting the call here.
Looks like it was a no call.
No call on the field. It is now 3rd and 10 for the Bearcats. 8 seconds on the play clock. Green in motion to the right. Trips right. Fakes across the middle, intended for Smith Mack, but no. Correction, Phillips, and it's going to be 4th down.
That's a good break right there for the UNLV defense. Hunter Watson puts the ball exactly where it needs to be in that zone, and his receiver just drops it. You would like to see him be able to get underneath that football just a little bit, or maybe Hunter Watson will get the ball just a little bit elevated. Obviously, he has pressure. The Bearcats will want to have that play back.
It is now 4th down, and the kicking unit will come out. RJ Lopez, he was 1 of 2 last week, made a 40-yard field goal, but missed a 33-yarder right in front of us here. Snap, kick, hold, and it's right. No good. And the Bearcats, when they showed a little life on the offense, were unable to put up 3, and the Rebel offense will come back onto the field. But first, we're going to step aside here. You're listening to Rebel Football on Rebel Sports Net. An emotional RJ Lopez on the sideline, misses the 33-yarder, slices it to the right. An opportunity for this Bearcat offense to put up some points since the first drive of the game, and unable to, and we're seeing some tears on the sideline.
Right there, that's another play RJ Lopez would like to have back. When the Bearcats needed it most, they didn't make the plays necessary in the red zone. That we were seeing the same thing last week from UNLV. You want to make plays in the red zone.
Fumble on the handoff, and Calandria jumps on the ball, try to give it to Lee on an option play, but not able to, and a negative set of down there.
Right there on that play, you like to see the players, they were a little bit too antsy. They were trying to get into another play, get Calandria again rolling out, bootlegging, getting him into space. But if you're going to make that play, you cannot make mistakes. Now UNLV is at a minute 17. Let's see if they hurry up the offense or if they let this one go into halftime.
2nd and 15, an opportunity for less than 2 minutes here to get down the field quick. Handoff up the middle. Lee gets outside and shoestring tackled, brought down for a gain of about 10.
It's a great job right there by Lee. If I'm UNLV, I'm trying to see and make sure I'm watching the clock. If we have any chance to be able to get this first down, you want to be able to make a big play right here, call a timeout, and stop that clock.
And they are going to their first timeout of the half. Excuse me, that is incorrect. One timeout's already been taken off. The clock is still ticking down. 35 seconds remains in the first half. 3rd and 5 for the Rebels.
Looks like the Rebels are playing a numbers game right here, understanding they have the score, time, and possession.
Empty formation. Calandria delivers one to Irving for the first down and a little bit more. Brought down by a committee of Bearcats at the 34-yard line. And the Rebels are going to take a quick timeout here.
Right there, you would like to see Dan Mullen just use a little bit better time management. There was a lot of time that was running off the clock, and the clock seems to still be running.
Calandria signaled for a timeout, and they're going to let this one go. Dan Mullen wants to get them off the field and get back inside the locker room. So the Rebels will go into halftime leading in Houston 24-7. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to Rebel Sports Net. Wyatt Touchet, Johnnie Graves on the call. UNLV football is popping off here in Houston. The Rebels lead 24-7 over the Sam Houston Bearcats. Their first road game of the season and the Bearcats home opener, and it's looking all Rebel football so far.
So far, we've seen nothing but good plays and accurate footballs by Anthony Calandria so far as the leading quarterback for this UNLV offense. With this improved time, especially last week with him and Alex Orji splitting some time, we've seen Anthony Calandria completely take control of this offense, keep them on time, keep them on target, and use his legs when he needs to. But everything that UNLV has done so far on all three phases, offense, defense, and special teams, has put them in the position to be up 24-7, in this football game.
Anthony Calandria, 13 of 16, 167 yards and 2 passing touchdowns, and an absolute show in the passing game. We didn't see this a lot last week, especially early on. It was a running absolute fest at home for the Rebels. Now we go to the defensive side. They started off a little slow, gave up a touchdown in the opening drive for the Bearcats, but since then, absolutely stout. They even came up with a touchdown of their own from the pick six from Amarus Brown.
They've done an amazing job of making sure Hunter Watson is not going to be comfortable in the pocket. So much so that they actually had Hunter get subbed out of the game, and we saw their redshirt freshman quarterback come into the game and make a mistake for him to come back in this football game. Now, I would like to see Sam Houston use a little bit more of off-platform, off-schedule offense to keep this UNLV defense guessing, because if they don't make adjustments in this football game, this game can run away from the Bearcats pretty fast, and they have a grueling schedule coming up. They have to play at Hawaii. They also have to play at Texas and at New Mexico State, and their next home game, like we said earlier, is not going to be until October 9th. This football team needs to make a rally so far in the second half. Let's see if Hunter Watson is able to do that this drive.
Their first home game of the season, as you said, partner. They're playing at Shell Energy Stadium. This game is the first of 5 the Cats will play at Shell Energy Stadium in the 2025 season as Bauer Stadium in Huntsville undergoes major renovations. Watson to the flat, connects, and picks up a gain of about 8 to number 85, Dylan Burke.
That's a great job right there by the Bearcats, calling a play to get good yardage on first down. When you're able to pick up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down, you're able to move the chains efficiently and give your quarterback options. That way, if you want to call a shot on 2nd and 2, you can call it.
2nd and 2 from their own 33-yard line. Play action to Green. Watson tackled behind the line for a sack and a penalty flag potentially for horse collar. But as it stands right now, the Rebels get a tackle for loss.
That's a great job right there by the defensive line, making sure that Hunter Watson would step up in the pocket. But this game of football is all about adjustments. What do we see the UNLV defense do? They put Marcel McDuffie in the QB spy and made sure that his eyes were going to be on Hunter Watson and made sure that the defensive backs were manned up. That way, he had nowhere to go, and now it is going to be 3rd and 3, it looks like, here for the UNLV Rebels.
The Rebels lead 24-7. 14-20 remain in the third. No penalty flag. 3rd and 2 for the Bearcats. Spread offense here. Shotgun. And Green in the backfield with Watson. Pressure shown from the Rebel defense. Going to be a keeper, but sacked and brought down for a loss of gain is Brown.
That is an amazing job right there by Amarus Brown playing that nickel position. That nickel spot is called the star. You are the star on the defensive backfield. When you're able to sit right there and play in the run fit, know that, hey, they are trying to use the QB run and try to get this first down. No, I'm going to read my keys, and as a corner, that nickel quarterback, you need to be physical. That's exactly what Amarus Brown does. He wraps up, he makes a secure tackle, and UNLV's offense is going to be able to get this football back to extend this lead.
I mean, this kid was praying that run was there, and he absolutely punished him for that carry. And it's going to be punted deep back for the Rebels is Irvin at the 30. And a short return there brought down around the 34-yard line. So this offense is going to come back out. They put up 24 in the first half, and they're looking to continue that momentum here. We're going to be back here in just a moment. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to Rebel Sports Net. You're listening to UNLV football. Score update here for the UNLV women's volleyball. They lost on their home court for the home opener against the Iowa Hawkeyes. 3-0 on their home court. Now bringing it back to the field, the Rebels lead 24-7 on the road for the first time this season at Shell Energy Stadium, and they are absolutely dominating the Bearcats right now.
So far, again, like we said before, this UNLV team is playing good on all three phases. Right there, they got a big key stop by Amarus Brown. Amarus Brown, so far in these first two games, has shown that he's going to be one of the leaders on this defense playing that nickelback position. When you're playing that position, you need to be versatile. In these first two games, he's made key plays when the UNLV defense has needed them the most. And right there, he's able to give this offense the football back.
This offense so far has been doing really well. Taking a look at the total yards, 238 in the first half, 167 in the air, and 71 on the ground. Last week, taking a snapshot of it, it was quite the opposite for a majority of the time. Jet Thomas, 3 touchdowns, a lot of carries, or a lot of yards, with those 10 carries. And we haven't seen a lot of him in the opening drive. Jaden Bradley, 3 receptions, 63 yards for a touchdown. We haven't said his name a lot since, but it'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make here. 1st and 10 for the Rebels with 5 on the play clock at their own 32. Handoff up the middle to Thomas, met at the line of scrimmage and brought down, going nowhere.
I like the idea right there by the UNLV offense, just trying to, you have a 17-point lead. You don't need to put yourself in a hole. You don't need to make plays that are going to be too daring. But this still is a football game. There still is a lot of time in this football game. You want to be aggressive. Let's see if they look to pass the ball, give the ball to their playmakers on 2nd and 10.
Last week against Idaho State, Jaden Thomas, 6 rushes, 132 yards. And Calandria breaking loose, makes some tackles, missed. Diving effort and picks up a huge first down there.
That's a great job by Anthony Calandria, being able to showcase the athleticism. When the pocket breaks down, Anthony Calandria so far today has done a great job of not being indecisive with his decision making. Every single time he's going through his progressions, he's going through his read. Right there on that play, he actually had a QB spy on him. And what does he do? He takes 1-2 juke move and he's able to break that guy down and get a first down for this UNLV offense.
Great play there by Calandria. 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Shotgun formation. Thomas in the backfield on his right hip. Handoff to Thomas. He's going to go left. Tries to stiff arm him in and only picks up a gain of 2. Pushed out of bounds.
Good gain of 2 right there by Jet Thomas, being able to explode to the outside. Sometimes you just need to pick up what you can. Right there, he's able to pick up 3 and put this UNLV offense in a good down and distance.
Jet Thomas pushed out of bounds by Alonzo Edwards. It's going to make it 2nd and 7 for the Rebels here. 11:45 remaining in the third quarter. They lead 24-7 at their own 48-yard line. Spread offense here. Shotgun, play action. Calandria looking deep down the near sideline, intended for Bradley. He comes down with it. What a play and what a catch.
That is an outstanding play by Jaden Bradley, but I want to key in on what made this play. It was an amazing block by Jet Thomas, being able to stand in the pocket for his quarterback and give him time to deliver.
Jaden Bradley, one-on-one coverage, comes down with the 50-50 ball and brought down at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Rebels. Handoff up the middle. Thomas fighting for those yards, and he's in. Touchdown, Rebels.
That is exactly what you want out of your offense. What do you do when you have your running back, your star running back? He makes a big play to put you guys in the red zone. You give him the ball in a hurry-up offense. That is Jet Thomas. How many touchdowns for him so far? How many touchdowns?
1 in this game so far. Jet Thomas, an absolute physical run there. Put it in for 6.
On the leaderboards for Jet Thomas, that brings him to 6 all-time in UNLV record books. It's going to be tying Jason Thomas, quarterback for UNLV in the past. But again, Jaden Bradley right there, what a great catch, being able to extend that.
23 touchdowns all-time on the ground for Jaden Thomas. Sits right behind the 6th marker on the leaderboard. Jason Thomas, as you mentioned, partner. That's what I was trying to pull up. And awaiting the PAT here. couple issues on the sideline. Coach Mullen is not happy with his special teams unit. But regardless, Jaden Thomas, his showing of his skill is immaculate.
So far, the Jadens are cooking right now. I mean, they're coming out and they're showcasing the talent that they have for this football team. I also love that so far, offensive coordinator Corey Dennis has shown that, hey, I understand that we have guys on this team that are going to be leaders. They're going to be the stars, the Jaden Thomases, and they're also going to be the Jaden Bradleys. But we need to rotate as many of these depth pieces as we can. We saw JoJo Earl in the first half get some big catches. We saw D'Angelo Irvin be able to get that touchdown on that corner route. When you're rotating all of these guys in, it's keeping everybody fresh, and therefore you're able to have Jaden Bradley make a big catch to put this team in a position to win this football game and score more points.
Ramon Viella puts it through the uprights. The Rebels lead 31-7 here on Rebel Sports Net. UNLV football is dominating at Shell Energy Stadium. 31-7, they lead the Bearcats on the road for the first time this season. They travel on a short week, might I add. And what a run there by Jaden Thomas, getting the first touchdown of the day for him. He had 3 last week and finally gets in the end zone today.
Right there on that drive, you saw it was a minute and 47 seconds for UNLV to score. Everything that we saw in the first half was long, sustained drives. What do? They're able to switch up the tempo. They throw a deep on to Jaden Thomas, and that is for the second straight game. He gets another big catch, and Anthony Calandria, 14 for 17 so far, being able to deliver the football. But the biggest key on that play was Jet Thomas with a huge block.
Return here, Shane Porter, brought outside and tackled by number 28, Logan Christensen. And this Bearcat offense looking for some sort of life here in the second half. Trying to get something going.
This Bearcat offense really needs to answer. They need points on this drive. If you have to throw in a trick play, if you have to do whatever you need to do to get some momentum going for this offense, they need to keep their defense on the field, and they need to get points, and they need to get points fast. This game is slowly but surely slipping away from the Bearcats.
A nightmare offensive possession. First and 10. Inside their own 25, handoff Brown for a gain of 4.
It's a good sure tackle right there by number 30, Adelaide Tumise. You would like to see Sam Houston be able to understand that, yes, we need complementary football. We want to be able to run the ball, but at this juncture in the game, they're going to have to use their wide receivers to stretch the field and get the ball downfield.
The Sam Houston offense has struggled and been stagnant all night long, totaling only 125 yards total. 2nd and 6 at the 28-yard line. 10:30 to go in the third quarter. Watson in shotgun formation hands it off to Brown up the middle for a gain of 4 there.
You love to see the UNLV defense. If you pay attention to the back end, they are using Andrew Powdrell when he's down at the bottom. He is the boundary corner. As the boundary corner, a lot of times you are going to have no safety help. He is at the top one-on-one by himself. If I'm Sam Houston, you have to attack that. If you see that coverage, you might have to check audible and see if you give your wide receiver a chance. If not, you're limiting your offense.
3rd and 3 for the Bearcats. Huge opportunity here to move the chains and get some sort of consistency going. Towards the near sideline, incomplete pass intended for Quavez Humphreys.
That is a play right there that Hunter Watson would love to be able to get back. On that play, UNLV, what do? They send a nickel corner blitz, and they're making him rush the football out. And again, the wide receivers are not on the same page. On a big down, they needed to be able to get that conversion. They don't. UNLV is going to get this football back. And again, the Bearcats need some type of life, whether it's a fake punt, whether it's trying to draw offsides or a pass interference. They are going to continue to get frustrated, and it is slipping away from them.
Coach Lingo not happy with Hunter Watson here as the punt from Durand, fire caught by Irving Jr. Lingo in disbelief as they are down 31-7. Rebels lead here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to UNLV football. The Rebels lead 31-7 here in the third quarter. Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves in the call in the broadcast booth. Calandria coming out for the second drive of this second half, and this offense is looking good.
The offense is looking beautiful today, Wyatt. I mean, everything that they've done so far with the running game and the passing game has absolutely been clicking to the point where now UNLV has put their subs in.
And a 1st and 10 at their own 27, handoff to Glover, brought down by a community of Bearcats for a gain of about 2.
It's a good job right there by Glover, taking, again, what the defense gives you. And not every run is going to be a home run ball, and sometimes you just got to be physical as a running back, be secure with the football, not fumble it up, understand that you have a big lead. We need to stay on top of that. It looks like UNLV is going to commit to the run. Let's see if they want to pass on this play. But if I'm them, I'm running this clock out, and I'm getting out of Houston as soon as possible.
Big game coming up this week. Week 3, well, technically week 2, but the third game of the season is against the UCLA Bruins, Big 12 team. Catch on the sideline is Earl. Do they count it? Yes, they do. Toe tap and all on the far sideline. Calandria on the bootleg delivers a great ball and an even better catch. Almost tipped out, but nope. Give that to Earl.
That was a beautiful example, like you said, Wyatt, of running a bootleg. Back in high school, you would run these routes where you would have your slot run almost like an out route. That's exactly right there what JoJo Earl did. He's able to use his movement, use his speed. The best part about that, though, was Calandria being able to zip that ball right over that flat defender and get it down to JoJo Earl.
1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Calandria, play action, surveys the field, has to roll out right, and is brought down for a loss, tackled by number 26, Tokyo Gordon.
That was the worst play that I've seen so far today from Anthony Calandria. Would you have liked to see him get rid of that ball? Yes. Would that have been a 2nd and 10? Now you're looking at 2nd and 13? Yes. But all that being said, all that being considered, Anthony Calandria has made play after play today. I expect him to make another big play to lessen this down.
Dan Mullen on the sideline, not happy. Potentially a communication issue here for the Rebels. 10 seconds on the play clock. We're not seeing anything. He's having headset issues on the field for Calandria.
Looks like they might have to take a timeout.
They might have to burn a timeout here. And they do. Coach Mullen is not happy about it. He wants it quick. He wants it now. And we're not seeing that. We're going to step aside real quick here on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. Wyatt Touchet, Johnnie Graves on the call. Thank you so much for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels lead 31-7 and have the ball marching down the field right now. This offense has been looking really good. Anthony Calandria completing at a high clip, 15 of 18, 228 yards and 2 touchdowns on the air. And he's looking to keep this one going here at their own 38-yard line, 2nd and 10. Following a communication error with the headset, and he's brought down for a loss. Not a good way to respond after the timeout there. 3rd down.
Right there, it looked like UNLV was trying to use, again, they were trying to catch Sam Houston State on their heels, use a little bit of that QB power, QB blast. Unfortunately, Sam Houston State was able to clog that up. It's looking for 3rd and 12 right now. But this game has been the perfect example of what we expected with Dan Mullen coming to this team and coming to UNLV. He's been able to put these quarterbacks in a position to be successful, and that is why Anthony Calandria has been able to be 15 for 18, 228 yards, and 2 touchdowns so far in this football game.
3rd and 12 for the Rebels at their own 39-yard line, and the referee's standing in front of the center, stopping play, and now he gets out of the way. The back judge there. Now 3rd and 12, shotgun formation. Calandria commanding this offense here pre-snap. Handoff to Glover, met behind the line and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th down.
Looked like Calandria there, looked like he wanted to audible to something. He checked out of that pistol formation, was able to slide them into the shotgun. Unfortunately, it looks like UNLV made that check down to where they were just going to give it to the running back, put their defense back out on the field. Don't let the offense hurt the team as a whole.
And so now Cam Brown, the Rebels punter, will come onto the field and boot this one for this offense. 7:31 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Is that the first 3 and out today for the UNLV offense?
I'd have to go back, but that looks like it, yes.
I believe so, which is, if you're 7 minutes and 31 seconds into the 3rd quarter, that is amazing execution by this UNLV offense.
Fourth and 12 for the Rebels. 7:31 remaining. UNLV leads Sam Houston 31-7. And a great response in terms of fixing the little things for this Rebel program from week 0 to here on the road, especially for this offense, fine-tuning those little things.
Exactly. It's early in the season. These guys are going to have to work those kinks out. And then on top of that, when you're playing in spring and summer ball, you're playing against your teammates. You're not going to be able to play against a live opponent. It's different when you're in a game environment. But UNLV has came to play today.
Tackled by Trey Fulton. But there's flags on the play as Cam Brown was punting the ball near the line of scrimmage.
Great tackle right there by Trey Fulton as the gunner right there. Sometimes your role as the gunner on special teams is to rally down and make secure tackles. Make sure you don't hit guys with a fair catch. In this situation, the punt returner for Sam Houston did not fair catch. He made a secure tackle and is able to put the defense back on the field in a good spot.
And the penalty on the Rebels, illegal formation, not enough guys set on the line of scrimmage. And that's going to cost them there. Add to the return for the Bearcats. Coach Lingo talking to this offense here, trying to get something going. They scored on the first possession of the game and have been no score since.
Yeah. No, this UNLV defense coming off a game with Idaho State where there was a lot of blown coverages, especially on this defensive back unit. This defense has came out today, and they have pitched almost a shutout other than that first drive. They've made sure to keep Hunter Watson in the pocket. So far in this game, he's 8 for 16. He has 70 yards with his arm, and then on top of that, with his legs. That was the biggest part coming in this game after a 91-yard performance from him last week. They've been able to contain and put him in the pocket and allow him to beat them with his arm. You're not going to allow a quarterback like that, athletic as Hunter Watson is, to get out the pocket and extend plays with his legs. When he's doing that, that is when he's going to put your defense in positions they don't want to be. Luckily, UNLV has made adjustments. They've used QB spy. They use man-to-man on their corners, and they have done a great job of containing the Sam Houston offense today.
Hunter Watson, 6 carries, 21 yards, got in the end zone once on the ground, but passing has only been 50%. Completion rate, 70 yards, averaging only 4.4 through the air. An absolute disruption from the defensive line. That we saw those issues early on in week 0 last week against Idaho State. They made a couple of adjustments. They've been getting off the line of scrimmage quicker. They've been applying the pressure. We saw the interception Watson threw to Amarus Brown. Might I remind you, that pick 6, amazing play but all 11 players are playing and doing their job.
Exactly, and you got to think why, like you mentioned before, with those night practices, when you're able to get your team all together and look back at film and key in on these are the problems and things that we have to work on, and then you're able to execute them in the game, that's exactly what you want out of this football team. That means that everything that Dan Mullen is saying from an offensive to defensive to special team standpoint is sticking with these players. And not only are they listening to him, but they're applying it on the football field. They're getting after the quarterback defensively, and they're making sure that they're winning the turnover battle and winning in all three phases of the football game.
Consistency has been the focus going into this week. Last week against Idaho State, at Allegiant Stadium, there was a lot of extremes that they saw, Coach Mullen said, and he needs consistent good football, and we've seen it here. The first punt of the game came in the third quarter, 7 minutes and 22 seconds remaining, as the Bearcats finally take the field here. They trail 31-7, 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. The keeper, Watson, throws it outside and connects on the near sideline to number 0, Bledsoe.
That was a great use right there, a great play call by Sam Houston, being able to use the RPO game. RPO stands for run pass option. On that play, they were able to use that read option look and be able to get right there for a comeback to the outside.
The handoff to Green up the middle. He picks up the first down, and it's brought down by a committee of Rebels. Move the chains there for the Bearcats.
Simple play right there by the Bearcats, just using a simple little inside zone to pick up the 2 yards needed to keep those chains moving. That's exactly what they need for this offense, but they are against the clock right now. They need to hurry this offense up a little bit and make sure they're moving the ball efficiently.
Less than 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats at their own 40-yard line. Shotgun formation, twins right. 3 linebackers for this defense for UNLV. Going deep down the far sideline. Great defensive presence there and locked down by defensive back number 5, Quandarius Keys. First time we're mentioning his name today.
That is amazing coverage right there by Quandarius Keys. There was a play last week where UNLV was called for a pass interference, and it was Quandarius Keys last week. What does he do right there? He reads the hands of the defensive back. He does not go and get into him before the ball is in play, and he makes an amazing adjustment, amazing PBU right there by Quandarius.
That long pass incompletion makes it 2nd and 10 for the Bearcats, trying to get something. Takes a chance and unable to connect. Across the middle of the field, connects and picks up the first down as Malik Phillips moving the chains here for the Bearcats.
That's a great slant right there by Malik Phillips, but amazing tackle right there in coverage, being able to mitigate big plays. Sometimes, yes, you lost the rep, but you did make the tackle to make sure that you were able to commit the defense and stop.
Inside Rebel territory, the Bearcats moving this ball forward at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. RPO has to keep it himself and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A tackle for loss by Lucas Conti.
That is, again, Lucas Conti in the backfield for another tackle for loss today. Again, he is reading his keys. He understands that if Sam Houston State is going to use the read option game, they know that the first look is no, not the running back. It is actually going to be Hunter Watson in his legs. What does he do? He gets in the backfield, he takes Watson down, and allows for his teammates to rally to the football.
UNLV leads 31-7 here, 2nd down for the Bearcats. Surveys the field, going deep down the sideline again. Top side. No, it's intercepted going the other way. Trey Fulton, the freshman, gets another turnover for this defense here.
There is a flag on the play, but this is textbook outside corner defense right there by Quandarius Keys. Again, they're trying to test him. They know Sam Houston is desperate. In man-to-man coverage, what does he do? He puts his guy, and he puts him in jail. He absolutely puts the seatbelt on him. What does that do? As a safety, Trey Fulton is able to go out in coverage and play that pass, but it looks like they called pass interference on the play.
And it will be pass interference, an opportunity that looked like the house won, but no. The Rebels are still on defense, and the Bearcats will move this ball forward. This ball was intended for Humphreys. Pass interference by Keys, picked off by Fulton, but the interception is nullified by the pass interference. 1st and 10 at the 29, tackled for a loss. Huge swarm of Rebels there in the backfield. What a play by this defense.
That was great contain right there by number 10, Trey Fulton. Again, being able to come down. And no, I'm sorry. That was actually
Justin Flo and company.
Yes, Landon Thomas being able to get in the backfield and make a big tackle for loss, but was then swallowed up again by Justin Flo because Hunter Watson was able to pull that ball from the running back and keep it for himself. Still a negative pickup for the Sam Houston Bearcats.
2nd and 11 for the Bearcats. In Rebel territory, Watson looking right to the near sideline, connects to Phillips, brought down around the 23-yard line.
That's a great tackle right there by Jaheim Joseph, understanding that, hey, I understand the down and distance. Sometimes we're going to take these little out routes, but again, they're making sure tackles. That was something that Dan Mullen wanted to see out of this secondary, and that's exactly what they're doing right there. Jaheim Joseph at that strong safety position making a great tackle.
3rd and 3 for the Bearcats. They trail the Rebels 31-7.
Looks like the Bearcats are checking out of that formation, seeing something that they liked on the defensive end.
Watson, handoff to Brown up the middle, and he's going to be short to the line of gain.
Right here, the Bearcats are desperate. They have to go for it. They cannot take 3 in this situation, but when you're in this spot, they need to make a good play. On the defensive end, UNLV needs to, again, bend but don't break. In this situation, you do not want to allow for a big touchdown play to happen. It's 7:22 left in the 3rd quarter.
Correction, partner. The score bug has been bugged on the game. The time has been messed up here. We're going to get this thing all figured out. Timeout, Bearcats. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Net. The Rebels lead 31-7. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. 3:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Finally got the in-stadium clock working. It is 4th down for the Bearcats here in UNLV territory. 4th and 1. Shotgun formation for Watson. Heavy set for this defense. Keeps, finds, and dropped. Intended for number 11, Malik Phillips. He had the 1st down and dropped the pass. Turnover on downs. This offense will take over for UNLV.
What a great play call by the Sam Houston Bearcats. That was eerily similar to the play that the Ravens used for Mark Andrews in the AFC divisional game where he was wide open in the flat. And what did they do? They do not execute. They drop an easy ball that has to be a completion, that has to be picked up. And because it's not, the Bearcats are again they're shooting themselves in the foot. When you have the game was on the line. Those are points on the line. You have to be able to make big catches and big situations. They don't. Now it's UNLV football.
Wise man once told me, if you can touch it, you can clutch it. Hand off to Lee there for a gain of 2. And Coach Lingo is on the sideline with Phillips, rallying him and lifting him up with his words. Great leadership there from Lingo.
Sometimes as a receiver, you're going to have a thing called concentration drops. Right there in a big moment in this football game, that is exactly what happened. That was a concentration drop, and you need to make those plays in big situations. UNLV has made those plays today. Sam Houston has not.
The clock is still not working at Shell Energy Stadium, but we will continue this ball game. 2nd and 8. Thrown towards the far sideline, connected with Bradley for a gain of 7, makes it 3rd and 1 here.
Great catch right there by Bradley. Just taking the simple curl route, being able to be friendly to the quarterback, coming back to the football, and not making mistakes. Again, everything that Anthony Calandria has done so far for this offense leading the field as the quarterback on this team has been efficient and has been in the means of moving the chains.
3rd and 1 for the Rebels at their own 29-yard line. Calandria under center. Handoff to Lee. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Falls forward for a half a yard, but is short to the line of gain. That makes it 4th down, and an interesting decision here for Mullen.
That is a great fill by free safety C.J. Brown, knowing that, hey, they're running the ball on 3rd and 1. I need to fill my gap. I need to put my hard hat down and make a big hit. And now they're able to get the ball back for this Sam Houston offense, who needs to capitalize. They need to give this defense a break because they just got a big stop for them. If they want to do anything to get back into this game, they have to get some type of points on the board in this next possession.
There was a moment there where UNLV's offense stayed out there, but they will punt it. Cam Brown punts this one back. Fair caught by Chris Reed. Tim Burns, excuse me, correction. And the Bearcats will take the offensive side in their own territory.
Again, you would like to see the Bearcats do something to make sure that Hunter Watson is moving efficiently on this drive. I understand that we need to take shots on this drive, but they need to do everything that they can to make sure that everything is efficient and is moving forward. They cannot take negative plays. They need to get points on this drive.
And now coming out to the offense is no longer Hunter Watson, but Maubrey Matoyer taking the field once again. He came in for one drive, unable to get anything going. Now he comes out here, 1st and 10 at their own 27. Option, keeps it, makes a man miss, pick up the yards and stumbles for a 1st down. Barely makes it, and is going to move the chains here with that run.
You see the 6'5" big boy stumble under himself a little bit. He keeps it on the read option, is able to fake the DN and Chief Borders. But again, he's able to pick up 9 yards on that run, or 10, I'm sorry. They give him the 1st down, and that's a great read by the young quarterback.
1st and 10 for the Bearcats at their own 38. Matoyer looks, checks it down to Brown, breaks the tackle, and is finally brought out of bounds by Fuller for a gain of 3.
That's a good job by Matoya right there, going through his progressions, understanding that, hey, all my guys are covered. I'm going to take my check down to my running back and get what I can. But you would like to see UNLV's DBs rally to the football and make sure-handed tackles. Do not try to come in and hit these guys with hit sticks. You need to wrap up and eliminate big plays.
Cohen Fuller, the transfer senior from Coastal Carolina, getting the tackle there. Fires outside near the near sideline. It's number 87, Chris Reed, for a gain of 3. Connection by Matoyer.
That's a great adjustment by Matoyer, being able to recognize that Paul Gunter, he actually sent that closest to the field side cornerback in a blitz coverage. When they're like that, they are completely bailing and going right after the quarterback. What does he do? He finds the wide open man in the flat for a pickup.
Rebels lead here at the end of the 3rd quarter, 31-7. You're listening to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to UNLV football. You're listening to Rebel Sports Network. The Rebels go into the fourth quarter leading 31-7. This offense looked good all throughout the game. The last two possessions, punts, the first two punts of the game for the offense, they've shown such great consistency, which is something head coach Dan Mullins wanted to see going into this game.
Exactly. Everything that they've done so far in this game has been about executing at a high level. That's exactly what both the offense and the defense have been able to do today. Everybody's been locked in on the game plan and the assignment. I feel like that night practice did so much for the cohesiveness and making sure that this team was locked in, ready for this football game.
On 3rd and 2, muff snap. Matoyer brought down short of the line to gain. It's going to be 4th and inches for this Bearcat offense. Almost a major mishap on that 3rd and 2 attempt.
It looked like right there Matoyer was trying to move a little bit too fast, and he muffed that snap with his center. That has to be something that needs to be keyed in and needs to be ironed out. But those are the different types of things that you're going to see when you sub Hunter Watson out. You give that guy the football, and now you take him out the football game and put in a new guy. It's going to mess up the chemistry between the center and the quarterback.
The Bearcats 0-1 on 4th down conversions, and that's going to change here. Brown with a huge lane. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Bearcats.
That is one of the biggest mistakes that we've seen so far out of this UNLV defense. That is Trey Fulton and Justin Flo not filling their gaps where they needed to do. Right there, you would like to see them be able to meet that running back in the gap. They don't. He's able to push right through the middle of the offense, and Elijah Green is able to get the biggest stop. That is actually number 34, Landon Coco Brown. He's able to get that touchdown for this Sam Houston State offense.
And the Bearcats score for the first time since the opening drive. They have been desperate for a touchdown, and they finally get points on the board.
Yes. This next drive, I would like to see UNLV football answer, but they need to have a long, sustained drive. So far, it looks like this offense is going to have to go for 2 if they want any chance to get in this game. They're going to be desperate. Let's see if on the ensuing possession they go for an onside kick to potentially get the ball back to the offense.
The 53-yard touchdown awaits the 2-point conversion for the Bearcats, and there's a penalty flag, and head coach Phil Longo is not enjoying that.
It looks like it may be some type of illegal formation. Oh, in this instance, it's delay of game, especially when they needed it the most. Now that is going to back up this Sam Houston team 5 yards, and that is going to put them in a position they don't want to be to convert this 2-point conversion.
Meanwhile, this clock inside the stadium for Shell Energy has been struggling all game, and that's what Longo is saying. Is we can't even see what the clock is at. This is not right. So they're still going to go for it here at their 8-yard line. He's having some choice words for the sideline referee. 2-point conversion here. Matoyer wrapped up and sacked by number 17 of UNLV, Osei Basse. What a play there.
It's a great job by Basse being able to get pressure on the quarterback. He's able to take that outside bend at the defensive end position, and what does he do? He's able to make the quarterback step up in the pocket and stop him for that 2-point conversion.
53-yard touchdown for Landon Brown puts the Bearcats with a little bit more life in this game. They trail 31-13. You're listening to UNLV football on Rebel Sports Network. Welcome back to Rebel Football here on Rebel Sports Net. Wyatt Touchet, Johnnie Graves on the call. And the UNLV offense has been electric all game long. They are up 31-13 on the road for the first time this season. And we're seeing a lot of great stuff for film to be able to come back and come back stronger going into the game against UCLA.
100%. Right now, it looks like Sam Houston is going to potentially attempt an onside kick. But the biggest part of UNLV's game so far to finish out this fourth quarter is they need to play smart football. Everything needs to be in the intention to win this football game. It is right there, and Sam Houston actually kicks the ball off. UNLV is going to be able to start this offense at the 25-yard line.
Glover back to receive the kick, lets that one bounce in the back of the end zone. Fourth quarter, 14-17 remaining in this game. The Bearcats finally score on their last drive, 53 yards from Landon Brown. Meanwhile, inside Shell Energy Stadium, the play clock and the game clock is out and has been coming intermittently throughout this game. And we saw that on the two-point conversion that ended up failing for the Bearcats. And now the offense for the Rebels come out onto the field here.
Yeah, everything that Anthony Calandria has to do so far on this drive is to milk the clock. Obviously, there is a lot of time on this football game, but you don't want to see anybody get injured. You don't want to see guys get hurt going into a big matchup with UCLA. Right now, it needs to be playing smart football, not any ejections, not any penalties. Let's keep the chains moving. If we end up with points, good. But at the end of the day, it's time to get out of Houston.
Calandra, a quick throw on 1st and 10. Connects with Omire for the first time tonight. Gain of 4 there.
I love that so far to start the drive. Just a simple, easy pitch and catch. Right there, they use Troy Omire on the outside with a simple wide receiver curl. He's a big target. If you put the ball anywhere in his vicinity, he has a big catch radius. That's the first time they looked at him today. But that speaks to the depth and weapons that UNLV has in this offense for that to be his first catch of the day. Let's see if he continues to be involved in this drive.
2nd and 6 for the Rebels. Calandria steps up, rolls out right, firing near the near sideline, and intercepted. Going the other way, the Bearcats get the ball back. Iman Allen with the pick there, and they have some life and the momentum at home.
That's exactly what the UNLV Rebels did not want at this point in the football game. For Anthony Calandria, who has played spotless football so far in this football game, that's exactly what you don't want to do. Right there, he was trying to make something happen with his legs, trying to make something explosive happen with his arm. Not only does he take a big hit, but he gives the football away in a situation where you do not want this offense to get the football back. Right there, that play did not need to be made to Jet Thomas. That was a desperation play, but even better play by Allen to make a play on the football and give his offense the football back to give them some more life, give them an opportunity to score more points. That is not what the Rebels wanted right there on that possession.
The first turnover for the Bearcats defense today, and Allen on the sideline with the sack of cash on his back. A little premature of a celebration. You're down 31-13, but I digress. On 1st and 10, Matoyer connects with Smith-Mack for a short gain of 1.
Going back to that play, Wyatt, obviously everybody has their turnover chain, has something that they do to rally up the crowd. And for a night for the Sam Houston Bearcats where it hasn't been a lot of things positive, they do have to find something out of this game to get this team going, get it hyped up. Let's see if Matoyer is able to fulfill another scoring drive so far for these Bearcats.
Matoyer handoff to Brown. He gets out, breaks a tackle or two, and hit from under his legs as Denver Harris. Brown might be short of the line of gain, but a good run there.
That was a great tackle right there by Denver Harris, being able to sometimes you don't need to wrap up. You just got to get underneath that guy's legs. He's able to do that. But right there, that was a great run right there. Great change of pace from running back number 34 in Coco Brown. He was able to use his moves, and let's see if they can convert on 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 towards the near sideline. Incomplete pass intended for Bledsoe.
Right there, those two guys are not on the same page. Obviously, when you have another quarterback in the game, it is going to take some different type of chemistry to be able to fulfill and convert on 4th down. Right there, Matoyer is not able to complete that pass, and is 4th and 1 and another big 4th and 1 for these Bearcats.
1 of 2 on 4th down conversions. The last time they went for it on 4th, they got it. Let's see what they can do here. Head coach Phil Longo looking to continue to extend this drive. They trail 31-13 here in the fourth quarter. Shotgun formation. Matoyer handoff up the middle. Uses his body to push his running back forward. And we're going to go to the referees down on the field to see where they mark this ball.
It looks like it might be a stop for that UNLV defense. Amazing job filling those gaps, understanding that they need to get 1 yard. What is your job as a defense? To stop that 1 yard. They immediately plug up any hole. You see big 94 Lucas Conti being able to use that big body, fill that gap, and do exactly what he's supposed to do as a defensive tackle.
And it's going to be a first down. They give it to the Bearcats, and a timeout taken by Dan Mullen. He is fuming on the sideline. This actually is going to go for under review, so Coach does not need to take a timeout. When we're back, we'll have the answer for that review. The Rebels lead 31-13 here in the fourth quarter. You're listening to Rebel Football on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves. The review is upheld, and the Bearcats get the first down.
The referees felt like the Bearcats were able to get enough of a push right there from Coco Brown to be able to get that first down, and they still have some more life. Again, you want to go back to that interception by Anthony Calandria. UNLV's defense would not be in that position if they didn't get that turnover. Let's see if they can bend but don't break and hold them to 3 here.
1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line, pistol formation. Matoyer towards the flat to Green. He catches it, turns upfield, and gets inside Rebel territory for the first down, brought down at the 45.
That is a great play call right there. If something is not broke, you do not have to fix it. Right there, they go right back to that running back screen game, and Elijah Green is a great pass catcher out the backfield. He's able to pick up the first down for the Bearcats.
1st and 10 for the Bearcats at the Rebel 45. Handoff to Brown. He's had great success today breaking out for a 53-yard touchdown a couple possessions ago. brought down for a gain of 3.
That was a great tackle right there by Darian Stewart, being able to read his keys. Justin Flo also filling that gap and making that assistant tackle. Sometimes as a linebacker, you just have to fill in where you need to and make sure that these guys get to the ground.
2nd and 8 for the Bearcats. Motion right is Burke. Shotgun formation, Matoye. Throws as he hits as he throws, excuse me, and it almost looked like a fumble, but recovered by the Bearcats, so regardless, it will be 3rd down.
That right there was a missed opportunity for the UNLV defense to get that football. Luckily, the Bearcats offensive lineman was able to get on top of that ball, but what a great effort by Egbase, being able to stay on top of the ball, and Jalen Lee also forcing pressure on the quarterback, making him step up in the pocket.
3rd and 8 for the Bearcats. Unexpected hit as he throws, has to throw it away. A good 3rd down stop. It looks like Watson, who came back in for Matoyer, was not ready for the snap, and now they have a 4th and long. Longo not happy with that play there.
That was a great quick sub by the Bearcats, trying to catch them off guard, but you see Justin Flo off the edge coming in like a man, like a bat out of hell, completely going with reckless abandon for the quarterback, forcing him to get rid of that football. It is now 4th and 8 for this UNLV defense. They need to get off the field. This is a big play in this football game.
The Bearcats are 2 of 3 for conversions on 4th down. Widespread offense. Phillips motion from left to right. Pressure, sacked behind the line of scrimmage. What a play there from Tumishe Adelaye to force the turnover on downs, sacking Watson there.
That was an amazing job by Adelaye, having extreme burst to get after the quarterback. If you see him, he is coming straight from the inside at that defensive tackle position. He uses the swim move almost like Aaron Donald, and he's able to get in the backfield. That is one of the biggest plays of this football game, to give UNLV the football back and get after the quarterback and make sure that Sam Houston does not end this drive with points.
And we're going to go to break here. The Rebels lead 31-13. You're listening to Rebel Sports Net. .57 remaining in this ball game. A huge stop by the Rebels defense. A sack by Tunmise Adala. What a play there. And now this Rebel offense will take over with 9:57 remaining. They lead 31-13.
That was amazing execution by Adelaide right there, being able to get to the quarterback with a simple swim move, giving that offense the football back.
The play by Adalaya catalyzes here.
And when it looks like UNLV offense was again trying to use that quick screen game to give it out to JoJo Earl. Right there, JoJo though. If you are going to get that football, you need to be able to be secure with it. And what a great form tackle right there by Allen. Allen so far on the defensive back end has been the player of the game for this offense. Looks like we do have a sub here. It looks like JoJo Earl is still in the slot, and it's going to be 2nd and 12 for the Rebels.
Great momentum shift for the Rebels. Fires and completes to Reynolds near the numbers on the outside, close to the yard to gain here.
It was a great job right there by Day Reynolds coming back to the football. As a receiver, you want to be quarterback friendly. What does he do? He runs that simple. It was a simple 10-yard comeback. What you need to do when you run that route is get to the top of your stem, use your break, and come back to the football. He does exactly that. Makes a great contested catch and is able to get a first down for the Rebels.
1st and 10 at their own 39. Handoff Thomas up the middle, carrying a couple Bearcats with him, and it's going to be a gain of about 5 or 6.
I love the mentality right there by Jaden Thomas. Not getting 6-7 yards on that play, but getting a hard 5 to 6 yards on that play. And what you've seen so far from this UNLV offense is, again, every time they are staying on schedule and moving the sticks and making sure that every single first play they use on the first down, they are moving efficiently, and that is the key to why they are 31-13. On top of the fact that, going back to, like you said, Wyatt, they wanted to be better in the red zone today, they are 3 for 3 in red zone opportunities today.
2nd and 4 inside Bearcat territory at their own 35. Less than 9 minutes to go here in the ball game. Rebels lead 31-13. Handoff Thomas up the middle, picks up the first down, trying to fight for more, and he's inside the 30.
It's a great job right there by Jet Thomas, showing that he's not just a speed guy. Sometimes you're going to have to put your shoulder down and get 5 yards the hard way. He does exactly that, and the best part about that play is that he was able to secure the football. He did not allow Sam Houston to go and get in his pockets, try to rip the ball out. Nope, he holds onto the ball firm, and he shows exactly why he's the leading running back for this Rebel football team.
A gain of 8 there for Thomas as the Rebels march down the field, 1st and 10. Anthony Calandria, 19 of 23, 249 yards and 2 touchdowns. A lot of that came in the first half.
The kid is balling. He has really shown that he is worthy of that starting role for the Rebels.
Shotgun twins right, surveys the field, almost intercepted, and a flag on the play from the secondary back judge. That might be on the Bearcats secondary there.
It looks like Allen right there just got a little bit too physical with Day Reynolds and impeded him from being able to get back to that football. Right there, that's exactly what the UNLV Rebels wanted. They catch a break, and they're able to get a free first down on this play.
And it will be pass interference on Iman Allen.
Yeah, right there you have Day Reynolds running almost a snag concept. They're able to try to use basically a post. You're running a post route. It's an 8-yard stem. The moment you get in 1 to 2 steps out into that post, you snap it down, and you're basically running a curl route back to the quarterback. He's able to run that route, but he does get interfered with. It is first down for the Rebels.
In the red zone, 3 trips, 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. An opportunity here to put some more points on the board. A designated keeper for Calandria. He gets outside, cuts back in, and he's in for the touchdown.
Anthony Calandria right there showing his contact balance, showing that the guy is able to not only show his wheels, but show contact balance, bouncing off defenders and making sure that they do not wrap him up for the tackle. That right there, Wyatt, is what we call a back breaker. That is what you do to silence the crowd if you're in enemy territory. And what do? They take a play out the Alex Orji playbook, and they go with the quarterback sweep. What does he do? He puts them in the end zone to make it 38-13 for the Rebels.
Put this Bearcat squad on old Sparky and put them out their misery. The Rebels lead 38-13 here on Rebel Sports Net. 5 plays, 51 yards in under 3 minutes. The 13-yard rushing touchdown by Anthony Calandria tops off the great performance the Rebels are putting on display here.
What does Anthony Calandria do after a drive where he throws an interception? He answers it right back with a 5-play, 51-yard drive and gets in the end zone. That's exactly how you're supposed to react to a mistake. That's exactly what you're supposed to do as a quarterback that's a leader of this football team. And what has Corey Dennis done to put this guy in positions to make plays? It's called amazing plays. He has kept them on script. He has kept them on schedule. And Anthony Calandria, time in and time out in this football game, outside of the interception, has executed it.
Less than 7 minutes to go here. Phillips getting loose outside and trucking Costa as he goes out of bounds. A great return there for over 30 yards.
That's a great return right there for Phillips, but also great containment right there by Costa. Sometimes as the kicker, you're never going to get hit. You're never going to hit anybody. Right there, he tries to put his shoulder down, tries to get some contact, and he's able to make a big tackle, which negated potentially could have been a kick return for the Sam Houston Bearcats, which was what they would have wanted. But you're able to get that out your kicker. That's great effort from beginning to end by Costa.
This Bearcat offense coming out. 1st and 10, down by 25 in the fourth quarter here. Looking very similar to their loss in the in-conference team, Western Kentucky, lost by 21 a week ago. Watson surveys the field, has to abandon and scrambles and tackle near the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
Again, Landon Thomas doing a great job. This defensive line today has come in with on their mind, their goal was to keep this guy in the pocket. That is exactly what they have done today. Right there, all the secondary made sure that Hunter was going to have to go through every single one of his progressions. They kept him in the pocket. They contained him. It is now 2nd and 8.
Sam Houston State lost by 17 a week ago, and here looking to repeat history. Watson connects with Burke in the flat.
That's a great catch right there by Dylan Burks. The tight end able to show, he got a little bit of hands. That's a one-handed catch, only a 1-yard pickup. Let's see if UNLV is able to get off the field right here on 3rd and 7. They are in Sam Houston territory. Let's see if Sam Houston is able to pick up a big 3rd down conversion.
1 of 10 on 3rd down for the Bearcats. Not very good in terms of statistics. But here we go, 3rd and 7. Metoyer finds Phillips, and he's short of the line of gain. That'll be 4th and 1.
That is a great job right there by Cody DeCambra. He coming in from Oregon. That is a transfer safety. What does he do in his first play of the game? First couple plays of the game. He's able to make sure that they get a 4th down and 1. Let's see if UNLV's subs can get a stop right here. This is big, not only for their confidence and their morale, but for reps. You want to be able to get that stop and show that Dan Mullen can trust you on the defensive end.
Potentially man-to-man look here from the Rebels. Pressure. Watson throws outside, connects, tiptoeing down the sideline. No one's going to catch him. Burns, he's in. Touchdown, Bearcats.
Bearcats right there able to use a perfect out route, knowing that it's 4th and 1, knowing that they have man-to-man, but also on that boundary side, they have the corners playing off coverage, and they are not able to secure that tackle. What do? They get a quick out route, and number 0, one of our players, LaTerrence Welch, is not able to secure that tackle. LaTerrence Welch, by the way, the guy that had 2 interceptions, 2 major interceptions for the Rebels, not unable to make a secure rally and tackle, and now it is a touchdown for Sam Houston. A bit of life that they needed, but it might be too little too late for the Sam Houston Bearcats.
And they're going to go for 2 here at the 3-yard line. Under center is Metoyer, who threw that touchdown pass. Motion Phillips to the right, one-on-one coverage on the far sideline. And it's going to be good. What a catch. Quavez Humphreys, with the 2-point conversion.
That is a great catch right there. That's a perfect example of what you do when you have a big body X receiver and you are in the red zone. You give him a chance. You throw him the ball. What is Quavez Humphreys able to do? He high points the football. He's able to get that 2-point conversion. Perfect fade route. Right there, he's able to show his keys, lean that corner back to the outside, and able to a little bit of a juggle, but he's still sure-handed enough to get that 2-point conversion, and the Bearcats got 2 more points on that play.
38-21, the Rebels lead here. 4 plays, 68 yards, a minute 55, the 59-yard catch and run by Burns to put 8 more points on the board here late in the fourth.
Again, you think back to what happened in this game. You wish if you are a Sam Houston Bearcat fan, you wish that you would have executed a little bit better earlier on in this football game. With 5 minutes left in a 17-point deficit, this is a position that you don't want to be in because now you are down 3 scores. You need to be able to get this ball back. They are in onside kick territory. UNLV football, they have to know that. They have to execute. It looks like UNLV is bringing out the hands team right now.
Kicking the onside kick is Christian Pavon, the redshirt senior. Dribbles this one, high point, lost the ball, and we have a pile near the 40-yard line. The hands team for UNLV unable to get it, and it's Bearcat ball, a successful onside kick, and the sideline is electric.
This is week 2. Or basically week 1 college football for you right there. Right there you have starter Troy O'Meara with the opportunity to get the ball. It gets a perfect bounce right to him. Instead of catching it sure-handed, he catches it with his body. It bounces completely off of him. These are the mistakes that you do not want to see if you are Dan Mullen and you are trying to make sure that your football team does not make mistakes. That play like that gives Sam Houston life, and what it is exactly what they need to get back into this football game. Let's see if Sam Houston now can capitalize. UNLV's defense has to make sure that they try to protect this offense and they bend but don't break.
Coach Mullen talked in the press conference earlier this week. We make one mistake, we have to flush it and move on. We cannot allow this to affect multiple plays. Let's see how this defense and this team responds after a mishap there. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats at the Rebel 39-yard line. Phillips motion from left to right. And brought down for a loss. The tackle there by Kamwela Kayahua. What a play.
That was a great tackle right there. Being able to understand what the Bearcats are trying to do in that play. They simply run a running back screen, a play that has worked for them all day today. What does he do? He reads his keys. He keeps his eye on the quarterback and keeps his eye on the football. Makes a big tackle for a loss for 2nd and 14.
Kayahua's tackle is a loss of 4 there. Intended for Chris Reed. Unable to connect there.
That's another big drop right there for the Bearcats. That would have made it about a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. Right there, if you are Matora, you need your receiver to make that catch if you want to make a big play. Now, with the team only going 1 for 11 on 3rd down conversions and 3rd for 14, I would like to see UNLV's defense send some pressure to the quarterback, make sure he gets the ball quick. But if you do that, the secondary needs to rally to the football and make a secure tackle.
3rd and 14 for the Bearcats.
See if this 4-man rush can get to the quarterback.
Mitoyer looking, fires far side across the middle. No, and it's a pass interference call on Amarus Brown, and he is not happy. He does not think that was PI.
And I don't think so either. It looks like Amarus Brown was in perfect coverage, and it looked like the ref believed that, again, he got a little bit too handsy. But in that situation, I didn't see anything that would have warranted a pass interference. I think that's a premature call. I think Amarus Brown, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt going against a bigger tight end. And basically, the ball was uncatchable.
Amarus Brown on the coverage there. That pass intended for Dylan Burke, the tight end. And instead of 3rd and long, soon to be a 4th down, it is now 1st and 10 inside the red zone for the Bearcats.
If you're the Bearcats right now, you are happy that you got that lucky break. If you're the Rebels, you are mad and angry. Let's see if they can still stay composed, understand we bend but we don't break.
They actually have the snap at the 27. Matoyer is going to use his legs and gets outside for the 1st down, now inside the red zone. But there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play. We did see that is a good play call. Let's see if it's going to be holding. He did have a pretty open lane to run on that QB draw.
The Rebels lead 38-21 here late in the 4th quarter. Let's see what the call is on the field.
Still, you got to think from the Sam Houston Bearcats that, again, it's a little bit too much or a little too late for them right now in this football game. The clock is working against them. You wish that you would be able to get some of those plays back. And again, it looks like holding on the play. That's the play that the Bearcats needed to have in this football game.
Holding call on the starting right guard, Miche Joseph, the junior from Coffeyville Community College. It's now 1st and 19 for the Bearcats. Shotgun trips right. Metoyer fires across the middle. Incomplete pass dropped by Phillips.
That's Phillips' second drop today when they needed it again. Another 2nd and 19 now for the Sam Houston Bearcats. And if you're looking at the receiver core, I like to see that Metoyer has been able to settle down. He's kind of finally found his footing in this football game. But if you are Metoyer, you need your receivers to make big plays when you need it the most. Right there, they don't get another catch when the ball is right on the money.
2nd and 19 now. Widespread offense. Metoyer and shotgun. Drops back, fires, and connects with Reed. He's fighting for more yards and is brought down by a committee of Rebels. Now making it 3rd and manageable for this offense.
Nice play call right there by Sam Houston, just using another little quick slant. Right there is just a simple 3-step slant, and he's able to deliver right on time, right on target. Ultimately, though, UNLV was playing off coverage with their defensive backs. Let's see if they can get off the football field now with 3rd and 14.
An injured Rebel down on the field. So we're going to step aside here. The Rebels lead 38-21 in the 4th quarter. You're listening to Rebel Sports Net. Thanks for sticking with us here on Rebel Sports Net. Jaheim Joseph, the starting safety for the Rebels, is down but was able to walk off the field. The medical staff will be taking a look at him. Meanwhile, 3rd and 5 for the Bearcats at the Rebel 23-yard line. Trying to get some more points going here. Late in the 4th quarter, down by 3 scores. Handoff and brought down at the line of scrimmage. 4th down for the Bearcats.
That's a great job right there by Landon Thomas, being able to hold his contain and fill that gap. They were trying to see if they could run the ball on that play, get some yards, but now it's 4-down territory, 4th and 5. Let's see if UNLV can get the biggest stop so far in this football game, give the ball back to the offense, and get out of Houston.
38-21, the Rebels lead. 4th and 5 here. Coming off the handoff from Jarian Parker Jr. for the Bearcats. Shotgun, Metoyer looking, pressure up close, and brought down for a sack and turnover on downs. Amarus Brown with the sack.
That is an amazing play call again by Paul Gunther, being able to use his nickel corner. What does Amarus Brown do? He goes heads up with the running back. What does he not do? Give up on the play. He continues to fight. He continues to have effort and show why he's the star on this defense. He's able to make a crucial sack to give UNLV offense the football and put this game away.
Using all of that 5'10", 190-pound frame, full of muscle, the senior transfer from South Florida, making a huge play there and stop for this defense.
Amazing play right there by Amarus Brown, understanding that I am in my nickel position, but I am basically a hybrid corner safety. I still have to run fit. I still have to be able to key in on the quarterback. They send him on the nickel blitz, and what does he do? He has done what he has done time and time again for these first 2 games, which is make plays.
1st and 10 for the Rebels. Orgy now in the game. Handoff. Breaking tackle as Thomas spins around the other way. Moving past the 1st down marker. Breaks another tackle into Bearcat territory. What a run there by Jet Thomas.
Jet Thomas showing you right there that he can be a human, not joystick, but a human pinball. What does he do? He runs into defenders, runs into right into the middle of the entire Bearcats defense. He gets to the outside and he's able to explode, spinning off man, doing everything that he can to get every single yard and understand that he is going to make the most of every touch he gets in this football game.
It's now 1st and 10 for the Rebels. They lead 38-21 off that huge run there for Jaden Thomas. That now puts them at 9 carries for 65 yards.
It's got to be like, what, 6 yards a carry, if my math is right? Something around there?
And with that, that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. The Rebels lead 38-21. Stick with us here on Rebel Sports Net. Welcome back to UNLV football here on Rebel Sports Net. Wyatt Touchet and Johnnie Graves on the call. And the Rebels have had a field day in Houston. They lead 38-21 with just 2 minutes remaining. An absolute star-studded fest from QB1, Anthony Calandria, 19 of 23, 249 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown to tack onto it.
I mean, Anthony Calandria tonight, man, has been absolutely lights out. To have only 4 incompletions, one of those being an interception, that's the only blemish for his night. The guy has came out and shown that truly he has earned this starting job for the UNLV Rebels football team. He has put himself in a position heading into this UCLA football game that he is ready to make plays, he's ready to lead this team, and he is leading by example.
One of the most important games in program history, going against a program like UCLA early in the season, could be very telling to see what kind of team you have in the Scarlet and Gray.
Yeah. No, I think 100%. I think these 2 games between Sam Houston and also between Idaho State have shown that this UNLV offense has not dropped off. I think Jet Thomas, then to Jaden Bradley, to Anthony Calandria, to Alex Orji, to now in this game D'Angelo Irvin and JoJo Earl, this team is going to be full of firepower that is going to keep up with Nico Iamaleava. They're going to be able to keep up with that offense in UCLA and score the points that are needed to win that football game. And I also think that this defense has shown that they have what it takes to make sure that they bend but don't break. They do what is necessary to win the football game. They win the turnover battle, and they do everything that they can to put their team in the best position to win.
And a strong carry there from Cameron Williams up the middle and down the side for a gain of about 7. It's going to be 3rd and short here for the Rebels. Taking a look at next week, speaking of Nico Iamaleava, that kid can play, and so can that program. It'll be interesting to see how they will be able to respond against a big-time school like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think going into Allegiant Stadium, this UCLA team is coming for blood. They're trying to prove themselves, and I think Nico is trying to prove himself coming off the fiasco that he had with Tennessee. This is going to be the first time that we've seen UCLA up in this upcoming season. UCLA is going to be coming to their first game. They don't have 2 games like UNLV has had. They're going to have some kinks. We know they're going to make mistakes, and I think that is advantageous to UNLV in this football team. We have seen that UNLV's defense is capable of making plays, getting pick sixes, getting interceptions, being on the football, getting fumbles. They are ready to capitalize on that. I think heading into this matchup with UCLA, UNLV is going to open some eyes if they come into this game ready and do exactly what they've done in his first 2 games.
Orgy on 3rd and 1 carries it and picks up the first down, and that will take us to the end of the ball game. This time, the Rebels on top, 38-21 on the road. They play UCLA back at home at Allegiant Stadium, 5 p.m. kickoff on Saturday of next week. We will be there live at Allegiant, the Death Star, and what a show that's going to be.
Absolutely, Wyatt. I cannot wait. It's going to be must-see football, and really the first big test that UNLV is going to have under this Dan Mullen era and Dan Mullen regime. But I think that everything that UNLV has shown so far within these first 2 games is that they are ready for upper echelon competition, and they're going to bring their A game come the UCLA game.
The Rebels finish this one out on the road, 2-0, 38-21. A special thank you to Jack Bridges for helping this broadcast get up and running here today. The Rebels 2-0 on a great road win victory. We will see you at Allegiant Stadium next week against UCLA. Have a good one. See you later, folks.